It's my duty to please the booty.
And Muzz got mad at me. The coach said, he goes, Jesus Christ, why don't you just work 2 nines? And I went, okay.
Please never do that.
Yep. So.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 503 of Spittin Chiclets, presented by Pink Whitney from our friends at New Amsterdam Vodka here in the Barstool Sports Podcast family. What's going on, everybody? It's been about a half a minute since we last commiserated here. Got a couple 2-1 conference final lead. Dallas out west, the Rangers back east. We'll get that shortly, but first, we got to say what's up to the boys. It's been a minute. Paul Biz Nasty, Bissonette, what's shaking, my man?
Oh, you know, just living out of a hotel, getting bodied by Wayne on the broadcast. The usual. And
standard.
The standard. I have the stinkiest ass right now. I can't stop farting. My room smells like a big giant fart.
Have you just been eating like trash? You never eat bad.
I've been eating okay. I mean, I go through waves. Sometimes they got these, like, they got the M&Ms and the chocolate almonds there, like, just staring you in the face, right? So you're sitting in bed at night and you're like, okay. And then you do a little toki, and then you have the M&Ms.
And you're real hungry.
Then you're really hungry. Next thing you know, you're calling up more M&Ms from the, you know. So yeah, I've been in one. So I got a stinky arse as a result of it. But that's pretty much all for me, boys, other than watching hockey.
Are you getting ready to crave a beer? Like, I know, like, draft, you'll be drinking. Are you craving a drink? Like, it's been, what, 7 months?
Yeah, because, like, even after the broadcast, I think it's been since what's it been? Since August 31st or August 30th, I haven't had a drink since. So
and
I don't know.
Like, Wayne and the guys are having a couple pops after, and you just sit there like the loser, right?
Well, I'm California sober, so I go down, I have a couple tokes, and I come back up, and I kind of sling it like I would if I'm having drinks.
Yeah,
but
like, this guy's more mangled than us, and we've had 15 drinks.
But actually, we were with who was it? Army, Mike Kelly, and I forget I'm drawing a blank. Is the play-by-play guy for the radio?
Steve Mares.
Steve, yeah, he does an unreal job there with the Penguins, and he knows Army, right? So we all went up to Wayne's room and just, you know, the stories get flying, the usual. And yeah, I think the first cocktail I'm gonna have is probably gonna be a tequila soda, and then obviously, obviously when we get together in I don't know where it's gonna be now. I thought it was gonna be Fort Lauderdale, but the team of destiny keeps fucking rifling off wins here. But even if we end up in New York, I'm going to be just crippling Pink Whitney onesies down the hatch, down the hatch. RA, I'm going to be in full RA mode when I see you in the finals. You're going to, you guys are going to be taking care of me for once, not RA. You're going to be taking care of me. RA, you're on biz duty during the finals.
RA, Raya, you're like RA all over the place. RA, YA, RA. Next up, the Wit Dog, Ryan Whitney. How are we doing, my friend?
I'm doing phenomenal. First off, let's get this out of the way. This show is presented by Pink Whitney. Had an amazing Memorial Day weekend, and Pink Whitney was had a lot to do with that, right? We had the drinks flowing. It was the weather here. I know, like, talking about weather, sometimes, like, if you're talking about weather, you're a loser. Dude, it was like 69 to 71 degrees, zero humidity, not a cloud in the sky for 4 straight days. You can't, you know, it's just Memorial Day weekend, Pink Whitney. So we had the big bottle going, a monster 1.75, and then some people brought the nips. An amazing cookout we were able to have. Cal's home. We were lighting it up. Family, friends, had a blast. So shout out Pink Whitney. Go grab yours. Take your shot. Go to the bar. Go to the liquor store, whatever you want. So thank you so much to New Amsterdam. Guys, some amazing hockey. I mean, I'm a little down in the dumps today. How could I not be with that game 3 in Edmonton?
That's a choke.
They just had a horrible second period. I don't call that a choke. Like, if they'd done that in the third, if it was 2-0 going into the third and they lose that way, I'd say choke. No matter what, though, the most disheartening, deflating kick in the dick. We have to win 3 of 4 games against Dallas. I think that's impossible feeling right now for myself. But the hockey itself has been so fun to watch. I mean, that 3:00 Rangers game on Sunday.
Best game of the playoffs.
Holy shit. Yeah, best game of playoffs. I'll give you that. And so the fact that we haven't met and talked up in so long, we get to go over all these series is exciting for me. And also summer has officially began. I feel like after Memorial Day, all right, summertime. I got a ton of stuff to do around the house. You guys know me. I'm a real failure to launch in the DIY category. That's do-it-yourself biz. There's many men who can do many.
I'm the worst handyman going. Worst handyman.
The grill was broken the other day.
Oh,
and I fixed it. I texted my brother-in-law. I texted my buddy. I texted all the do-it-yourself people that I know, and none of them could help. And you know what? I did it. I figured it out. And you know what was wrong with it?
Would you do YouTube to figure it out?
No. I hadn't plugged in the tank. The tank was.
Oh, that'll do it. Yeah, that'll help.
Just being able to do that and feel like a real man and grab that. What's the tank called?
Propane.
Propane tank wasn't plugged in, Biz. Sometimes it's the little simple things. So I'm flying around this weekend. I'm feeling good.
Next thing you know, you're going to be hunting in Jackson.
Oh, for sure. I'll be killing buffaloes with you, doing some yoga and just be California sober, talking about the mountaintops and the water.
I bet you've done yoga more times in your life than I've done yoga.
The last time I did yoga, I couldn't walk for like 3 weeks. It was 3 years ago. I haven't done it since.
All right, you've done yoga, right? Is that why
in college.
Wicked lot of fat in yoga. That's why he doesn't do it.
No, I took college. It was one of my college gym classes. Yeah, that's when I took yoga. But I didn't go like locally and walk around.
You got a full credit for going yoga. What, every day, 3 times a week?
No, once a week. I took yoga and ice skating were my 2 gyms I took at college. Yeah,
we had ice skating too.
I saw you ice skate.
No, dude. Honestly, I wish I took that class when I was 4 years old. It was the hockey coach taught it. I wish someone told me when I was 5 years old. I mean, I still would have sucked skating, but head up, chest up, knees bent, and I was like, oh, it was that simple.
You did neither when you got on the ice when we.
I know that was. I should have politely declined that day. I definitely would have done my mojo that day.
You were skating like Leon Draisaitl.
Smothered that day though, wasn't he?
You were skating like Draisaitl with the locked knees.
I'll sell propane and propane accessories.
Leon's not our problem. I mean,
I think he needs
Leon's
to bend
the problem.
He's skating like Patty Maroon right now. I think he needs to bend his knees a little more. That's just my opinion.
A little knee bend.
Problems between.
All right, how was your weekend, buddy?
Yeah, what the fuck did you do?
Really very chill. Friday, I went down to the club with my cousin. I watched the Friday night game with my boy Rizzo bartender. And then Saturday, Sunday, I just chilled in. I stayed in. I was a little beat. I just kind of rested up. Didn't do much of anything.
That weather, you just sat around inside?
Good for you, RA. That's why you're fresh for the pod. You're being fucking disciplined.
Very low key. Yeah, very low key weekend. But even like with historical Memorial Day weekends, I never did much because I always go away when, instead of going when everyone goes, it's crowded. I like to go to places when, it's not a huge weekend, less people.
Well, since we're talking about it, we have to, like, the men and women who have served. I've lived in the United States most of my adult life. It's an incredible place to live, and the people who have sacrificed to make it as unreal as it is, we love you and shout out to you. And we get to enjoy a holiday because of it as well. So we love you guys and thank you for all your service.
Yes, that's the reason to remember that is that holiday. And a lot of people who are serving and have served are big fans. We've gotten to meet a bunch of them at our events. So thank you so much to you. There's a big weekend in Nantucket this past weekend called Physicality. It's like a sailing race from Cape Cod to Nantucket, I think. But it's turned into just a party weekend for young to mid-20s, 20-year-olds.
That's where I cut my finger off a few years ago. You guys remember that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
There's this new thing where I guess it's not new. These houses all look pretty similar. They have to be painted like a similar way. They're very close together.
Yeah, HOAs.
Yeah, well, these
people hate them.
These people are getting smothered, and they think they're in their house, and they're walking into houses, passing out. It isn't their house. My brother-in-law's buddy, apparently he woke up, and the tub was overflowing, and there's police officers standing over him. He'd flooded somebody's entire top floor. It wasn't even his house. He turned on the tub. The tub had overflown. He'd passed out. It wasn't even his crib. So these people, these young bucks, I think Pink Whitney might have had a lot to do with that. That's one of the things that's great about Pink Whitney. Shout out Pink Whitney, but maybe keep those off your arrest records. I just couldn't believe hearing it. That's why I don't go over to Nantucket this weekend, Biz. I'm old. I'm mature. I took the weekend easy like RA.
I used to do it back in the day, Physicality, when I was a young man. tough to keep up, man, at this stage of the game. Yeah, well, yeah, like you just said, Memorial Day, obviously that's acknowledgement of all the soldiers, sailors, Marines who gave their life in the line of duty. And, I mentioned it before the show. I actually have a great uncle who's buried at Arlington National Cemetery. My great uncle, Hugh McGonigal, he immigrated from Ireland, and he was in his early 20s, and he joined the U.S. Navy because, you served, you would get citizenship. And he was killed on the USS The Maine in Havana Harbor, which was the lead up to the Spanish-American War. So they were able to take some of the deceased out and bury them, and then they went back years later and disinterred many more. So like 90% of the men killed, they went back and got them, and they were the first soldiers or sailors who were killed overseas and buried at Arlington National. And what's crazy, I was at Arlington National Cemetery, had no idea. Me and the old lady were there about 10, 15 years ago, and we were at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and I looked at the map. It said USS Maine. I says, son of a bitch, I had a great uncle on that. Had no idea there was even a memorial there. We went over that they had the mast from the ship there and on a big concrete tomb. And unbeknownst to me, to visit that place, to be there for hours and know that, the solemnity of the place, and how much respect there is, and then find your surname on a stone. It was an incredibly moving day. So, Godspeed to my great uncle Hugh, who gave his life in the line of duty to the state. So
thanks for sharing that,
from Ireland. Yeah, figured I would.
You're buzzing right now. That rest. Back-to-back pods, you've been getting the rest, man.
Is your earpiece okay though? You keep doing the earpiece thing.
It is fidgety. Plus, it gets oily too. Like I gotta screw around with it.
Yeah. Could you imagine this guy's earpiece?
I had to say oily.
Oh my God, we should make like a dare where somebody has to eat the earwax out of your earphone.
Oh Jesus Christ, we can't leave our boy Mikey G, producer, alone. What's up, pal? How was your MDW, as the kids call it?
It was very relaxing. I will say I'm a little distracted. The Rumor Boys just got a text that some big news between Will Smith and the San Jose Sharks could be breaking any minute here. So little Rumor Boys to start off the show.
I told you guys this weeks ago
that he's signing with the San Jose Sharks.
That's what I was told.
What was holding it back? Was he thinking about actually going back to college?
I've heard a couple different things. I'm not going to get into it until it's official, but I was told this a few weeks ago, but everything else I say doesn't end up happening. So I just texted the group. I said, Merles, you want to run with this? Merles is as trigger shy as anyone's ever been.
Oh yeah, he's pathetic.
Merles, everything he tweets doesn't happen. Then everything he gets ends up happening, and he has it like 10 days before the news breaks. So now he's
and then wants credit for it when it breaks. And he didn't have the balls to post it, and then you're getting shit on in the group text. I'm like, motherfucker, you had this in the group text 10 days ago. Why don't you fucking put your cojones on the line like everybody else on the pod does?
Ooh. Biz, I think the holdup though was he was waiting to see who won the lottery because it mattered really. If it wasn't San Jose, he probably would have gone back to BC. But now that it's San Jose, if Celebrini's going, he's probably going to go as well. And he's been in check at Worlds right now, so it's not like his agent can get a legit answer from him. So
I just don't understand why these kids would turn pro to go play for San Jose. The San Jose Sharks have a couple years coming up of being exactly like this year, just horrendous. Why would you rush to leave school to go there? I don't get it. But
paid
that's why I'm sitting behind this microphone, fixing grills and being dad of the year. So what do I know?
But my weekend, all right, you asked about my weekend, super chill, didn't do much. First time in years I haven't been, throwing the napkins at DJs on Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, you're a napkin thrower?
Oh, yeah. Everyone is at DJs, though. But so missed out on that. My girlfriend did launch her new app called Shop Rodeo, so we got to have a few drinks and celebrate that. Well, she can't drink, but I got to have a few and celebrate that. But other than that, really did nothing. Just watched a ton of hockey.
There you go.
Nothing wrong with that. With the Oilers, man, last night, great first period, 10-3 shot advantage, 2-0 lead. First, we got to give McDavid, stroke him off first and foremost. He assisted on Hyman, the first goal, got his second goal. It was his. And with those 2 points, he became the fourth fastest to hit 100 playoff points, doing it in just 64 games. Only Gretzky, Lemieux, and his teammate Leon Draisaitl have done it in fewer games. Jari Kurri is fifth with 67. Just an unreal stat. I know we rattle these off every week, but that's just how goddamn good the kid is. And moving along to Dallas. Now, I don't know if you heard the quote. Kevin Bieksa was talking on Sportsnet, and he said that Rick Bowness had told him that, quote, when you get Hintz back, you get Robertson back. Rupe Hintz was back in the lineup last night. He was the primary assist on two of Robertson's 3 goals. Just an absolute force Robertson was last night. Feels like he turned that switch on. How you feeling going forward? Any confidence still in this Edmonton squad?
I have confidence. It's dwindled a little bit. How would it not? That was just crushing yesterday. And I don't understand it. There was so many different parts of that game that were just so frustrating to watch and be a part of as a fan and as a viewer. And the start's incredible. Their starts have been awesome in all these games, which is that's okay. Let's go to the bright side first. I think people thought that this series would be over in 5 games for Dallas, which is a possibility still. Not saying that's not a possibility. But I would say after the first 2 games, it's like, all right, I think these 2 teams are closer together in competitiveness than a lot of people thought coming in. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Edmonton dominated.
That's a positive. That's a positive. That's a positive. You get the split on the road. That's a positive. Although game 2. So you get home, you get to game 3, and with all of the remaining teams in the Stanley Cup playoffs, the atmosphere and the vibe and what's going on in Edmonton is crazier than maybe the other 3 combined. Rangers fans won't love it. Stars fans won't love it. Panthers fans won't love it. These games in Edmonton and the energy in the city and the energy leading into puck drop and the fans in the arena for warm-ups, it's incredible. And what happens? They come out and they just thrive off that. And that first period, dominant. I mean, to get out of that, it could have been 3 or 4-0. And as this series has gone along, even when Edmonton scores, it's like, you need another one. You need another one against this team. But we got out of that period 2-0. Incredible effort. Everyone looked good. To sit there in the locker room, and I don't know if it's thinking, hey, we got these guys. This is our night. I don't know if it's like, hey, they're not ready to play and nothing's going to change from our side and we can continue to do what we're doing. But they came out and had, I don't know, it might have been the worst period of their season.
They got hemmed in the first like 3.5 minutes of the period.
They couldn't get the puck out of the zone.
They couldn't get the puck. They must have three turnovers on the lines. The Dallas just snapping it around.
They were changing with
6 shots. 6 shots in that 3.5 minutes.
And I think at one point the shots were 14-0 to start that second period. And so for me, it's like, how do you come out and think it's going to be that easy? Or forget, like, if you want to look at your effort in the first and say, continue that and we're fine, you got to understand that Dallas, this is a championship caliber team. I mean, these guys, Western Conference Finals last year, this year, they've ran through the past 2 Stanley Cup champs. Do you think that after a first period in a game 3 where they're down 2-0, they're not coming out a completely different hockey club?
Buddy,
and they
best
did.
Road team all year in the regular season and playoffs. 6-1
Yeah, they're
now.
6-1 now on the road.
Like, how do you do that?
So that's my thing. So you get the second period. Now, that second period, you look at all the goals. Edmonton had the puck on their stick on all 3 of those goals at the blue line. Get the puck out of the zone. Biz, you were on the broadcast. You guys were talking on the intermission. Get the puck out of the zone.
Buddy, nobody wanted to talk about it. If you watch each goal, on the first goal, go back to last game. I was complimentary of Nugent Hopkins. Hyman had it in the middle of the ice, right? And he was skating up and he got it poked away and it was going back the other way. But Nuge stayed on the defensive side of it. He stopped up, got it back, and then dumped it in, made the safe play, right? So in this one, you see it's a 50-50 puck battle with Nuge and someone else. Yeah, could Nuge have won the puck battle? Sure, but it's a 50-50. And it gets poked at, and it goes right to the blue line. And did you see where Hyman went?
Yep.
He faded all the way to the red line. You're up 2-0 at home against the best Western Conference team all season, the best road team, and a team who they'll play a full 60. And
they're not giving in.
And the last game, they just did the exact same thing to you. So you think you would learn from it. So then that happens. It gets kept in. We're not done there. Did you see what happened when Robertson was near the blue line and he cycled the puck down the wall? Both Hyman and McDavid don't touch him, don't bump him. They just curl towards the wall and they look back down the wall. And Robertson just finds the free ice. McDavid didn't have enough time to recover. And you said it. If you get Hintz back, you get Robertson back. I think Ace brought up the stat on the broadcast. In 6 games this season where Robertson didn't have Hintz, he had 3 assists. All the rest of the games in the season, he had 30-something goals or whatever. So Robertson is not that fast. Hintz is the one who does all the work, puts it in the fucking good areas, and he's just the shooter. Shoot. He even said it after the game. So that's the first one. And on the second one, and I don't want to, it's hard.
The second one was infuriating.
Bud,
there's 4 Oilers standing in the crease.
Bud, Ekholm and Seguin have the battle at the blue line. Great job by Seguin, and you can't say enough about his play so far this playoffs. He's been a dog. He's winning all those 50-50 battles. He's coming up key in big moments. He's making fucking sick plays, like passing plays. So it's a 50-50 battle there. Once again, like you said, they keep it inside the blue line. But because Ekholm was up, McDavid was that second guy back. So all of a sudden, 2 Dallas guys go to the net, and then McDavid gets caught in no man's land. So then all of a sudden, when fucking Ekholm's coming back, he's kind of looking at an open guy in the net front, so he leaves his guy. I know Seguin wasn't the one who scored, but establishing who your guy is right away creates less confusion as everybody's coming to the net, and then Robertson's just by himself, and everybody's just standing around holding their fucking dick. It was, buddy, that's when I say choke job. Stay on the fucking defensive side of the puck, man. What are you doing?
That's what I don't get. They were playing preseason hockey. Up 2-0 at home, dude. Like, yeah, you had a great period. There's 2 more periods. And then, okay. I don't get how you don't call a timeout, all right? You haven't touched the puck in this period, and they just made it 2-2, like a minute apart, whatever it was, 2 minutes apart. Call timeout. Bring the team in. I know when they had that timeout in Vancouver, who was talking to the entire team? Was it? I don't remember right now off the top of my head. Somebody in Edmonton's talking to the group. Do it again. Just be like, guys, you want to rip them? If Knobloch wants to rip them, whatever you have to do. Like, we are getting drummed in our own barn. We were up 2-0. It's now 2-2. We're fine, though. It's a tie game. No timeout. And what happens? Desharnais, who's been really good for the Oilers. He has been. He had one of the worst shifts, I think, of his career. You have to watch the Wyatt Johnson goal. He has the puck on his stick. He doesn't get it out. Then he goes back to the net, doesn't pick up Wyatt Johnson, falls over Skinner after. It's 3-2. It's like, oh, my God. Just the amount of momentum that Dallas was building from the opening puck drop of the second, and it didn't slow down. And all of a sudden, in the span of 5 minutes, you're down 3-2. And from then, even though they tied it, Henrique got a big goal coming back into the lineup. It's still like, Jesus Christ, you had this game in complete control, and you came out with nothing in the second period. And now it's for sure a must-win game 4, because you're not winning 3 in a row against this team. But you brought up the Hintz thing. I knew we got lucky with him being out at the beginning of this series. He was going to come back game 3.
That's the group chat. I said, I think I even posted it on Twitter. I didn't think that Dallas could win the series without Hintz. He's that good. You're losing your first line center. Like, that's fucking, who can do that?
And then we have Knobloch also. He puts Nurse and Ceci back together. This Nurse and Ceci pair.
Nurse makes $12 million next year.
Nurse, that's the thing. Like, Nurse, I've been very open about. Nurse is not a bad NHL player. He can skate. He can be physical. 9.25 AAV. He's horrible. If you're looking at salaries, and if you're looking what you need of your highest paid guys, and a $9.25 million,
I take Marner at 14.
He's got to carry.
14.
What?
I take Marner at 14.
He has to carry his pair, and Ceci was better than him. They both together. It's like they cannot play together. I don't understand putting them back together. I don't understand that, and like, when they're out on the ice and the puck's chipped in and it's a 50-50 race, somehow every single time Dallas ends up with the puck or on the offensive side, inside their man. And the cycle begins, and there we go. And so I don't really get
horrible.
What?
Edmonton is horrible from behind. When the puck comes from below the goal line, it's like they're lost. They're a lost little puppy out there. They're not good in their own end.
I mean, overall, Edmonton, it was one period. Other than that, they've played well in this series, and they've actually got depth scoring. They got Connor Brown playing well, and then it seems to be that when they get Connor Brown and some depth guys going, then the Stars don't score. So it's like they can't put it all together. And Skinner, that fourth goal. Here's the thing about Skinner. He made some insane saves when it was 2-2. He made that save on Wyatt Johnson cutting through the middle. He made a save on Marchment when it was 3-2.
Like backhand.
He was playing. There wasn't much he could do on the first three, whatever. Like I guess the second Robertson won the backhander, but like we said, there's 4 guys standing around not covering anyone. But then it's 3-3. And I don't know what Hank said. I didn't see after the game.
He said he reached.
How does it go in?
Because Robertson talked after the game about the fact that he learned that from working with the goalies constantly after practice. So you know what their tendencies are and where things will open up. So as Skinner got kind of outweighted, he held on to it. Somebody's going to make a move at some point, right?
But so I don't think he would have had to move. Skinner had the post just
correct. So he bit. And he then as soon as he put out the blocker, Robertson knows that when you do that, there's a gap where you can shoot it and it might bank in. You know, not every time are you hitting the bank, but it's like, where's my possibility where the hole's open? And it was off of that kind of like lower pad area, and he snuck it in. So I agree. Like Hank said, he goes, you just stay on your post. What's he going to do? He's like almost behind the goal line, or he is at that point. Just stay on your post. And he just, he panicked. So bad goal. And another thing too, Whit, like the first 2 goals they scored, anytime they felt any type of pressure, they did the flip play. They did it twice, and they ended up scoring both times off of it. I felt like in the New York and Florida series, both teams do it. Florida does it more, where they put it and their forwards just kind of, and it pushes their D off, right? Because as a D-man, when you're putting that in the air, you're like, I got to retreat because I don't know which way this is bouncing, and I have these fast guys coming at me, and they're going full bore. So if it takes a hop towards my net and I'm trying to play it outside the blue, maybe I'm fucked and I'm getting beat for either an odd man rush or a breakaway. But in both times, like even the one, I think it was might have been the second one where it was Heiskanen, or maybe it was the first one. Heiskanen's going back, and even he's like, oh, fuck. And that's Heiskanen. And then they get on the forecheck. And that's the one thing for me too, is like with Edmonton is they have their foot on the gas. And in the last 2 periods of the last 2 games, you could see every time they're about to make a move, there's like a split second hesitation where it's like, buddy, you were just fucking going, and you weren't thinking about it in the first period. And that's why you're having success. That's why Dallas is so good. Because when they go and they smell blood, they just go. Even in the defensive zone, every time they outnumber you where the puck is. If the puck goes in the corner, they're going to send 3. If you got 2 right away, they're going to quickly win the battle, and then boom, they're gone. And if they feel any type of that pressure on them in the ozone, they'll relieve pressure and go to the weak side. So Dallas has been doing an unbelievable job in the last 2 periods of the last 2 games of, you say, winning those 50-50 battles, but they're just relentless. And because they play with those 4 lines, go back to game 2 at home. He makes DeBoer makes the move, and Wayne said it because he felt that they didn't have enough size. They were playing unbelievable, the 4th line, but they didn't have enough size. So DeBoer moved Marchment, who I think was playing on the first line, down with Steele, and who was the other guy on that line?
Was it Delandra?
Foxa, maybe?
No, it's not Foxa. He's out. I think it was Delandria.
Because he came out when Hintz came back.
Because he had to come out, but they were incredible. And they're like every analytic stat. So fucking they end up working them down low, and boom, how do they end up getting their goal? And another thing too, that 4th line for them in that 3rd period, I think they had 2 shifts against the McDavid line when they were working them. So it goes back to Vegas last year, and it's a compliment to Dallas. And I know we're sitting on here talking about how Edmonton choked it away and what's Edmonton doing
Dallas
wrong.
Is a great team.
Dallas is incredible. They're like Vegas from last year. They can rely on every single guy in their lineup. The only thing they don't have, though, is that 6th D man. Petrovic has been solid. He's playing more than that other guy. But if Hakanpää comes back, it's like they literally are fucking Vegas from last year. Just every position, every single player from Dallas has like stepped up and had a huge game or a huge moment or huge stretch of time, maybe other than Pavelski. But he's getting 2 now next game.
And also, Biz, if you look at the leaders and you look at the captains of Vegas and Dallas and the comparison between these teams, Jamie Benn right now, am I crazy to think like 4 years ago, Jamie Benn, it looked like, it's kind of coming to an end here.
He
This
was
fucking
slow.
guy.
He looked slow. He doesn't look slow anymore.
You remember the time when Sagan and Ben were called out by it wasn't the owner, it was like the president. Was it
Jim Nill, right?
No, it wasn't Jim Nill.
It was like Hicks or
said
something.
some crony.
It was the owner, I think. It was the owner.
It wasn't.
I don't
they
think
sent
he's the
some
owner.
crony.
I think he's like right under the owner. We
Yeah,
could
he's
be
just
butchering
petting.
this, but he called those guys out in amazing fashion, like shocking to see. And they both have been two of their best players. These guys, they found something. They found the fountain of youth, and probably it has something
Jim
to do
Lights.
with what?
Jim Lights, the Dallas Star CEO, is who called
We
him
said
out.
X, who the fuck knows?
The quarterly
They have
reports
so
are
much
out.
depth. They have so much depth that these guys are able to just do their thing, not have to carry the entire team. That's why Hint's coming back so important. But Jamie Benn, he's Mark Stone. He is just a Western League warrior that's out there running people over, scoring big goals. I mean, he scores on the first shot of the game in game 2. And this is their leader. And this guy has shown up to play every single game. Biz mentioned Sagan. He comes up, he plays center with Hintz injured. He goes back to the wing last night. And it's just guys that have totally changed their game around from like 4 years ago, where you look like they were kind of washed. They're not even close to washed.
Well,
and
Sagan had some nagging injuries where this would have been the criticism.
True.
Man, Jamie Benn looks slow and he can't produce like he used to. And Sagan, he kind of is lost between, like, he can't be that high end scorer anymore, and he doesn't really check hard enough. Both guys, Ben doesn't look slow anymore. Sagan wins every fucking puck battle, and he's like all of a sudden a Swiss Army knife. How many points do you think they have combined since the first game against Colorado in playoffs?
Ben and Sagan combined
since the start of the second round.
10?
So that was 6 games and 9 games combined. They might have 13 points.
17 now. They had 13 points combined going into last game, and each of them had 2 points in game 3. 17 points.
Wow. We do have a guest we're going to bring on right about now. He's returning to the program. It's been a few minutes since we had on this great Dallas Stars legend, the goalie himself, Marty Turco. Where are you, my friend? Welcome to Spittin Chiclets. It's been a minute. How you been, buddy?
I'm great. How you boys doing?
Well, hey, you're joining us. You're dealing with like tornadoes in your area and shit.
Yeah, we had one touchdown. I don't know, probably 5 miles from our house. Here, right in Dallas. This crazy storm, and so for all those Dallas, hope everybody's okay. My sister's in and her husband from Canada, and we had to take shelter. You never know, and it's kind of scary. So I'm at the office now for the Freestone club that I do some work with, and their internet's out too. So I'm streaming off my phone. Hopefully you can hear me and see me.
No,
fine.
You sound great. We appreciate it. Actually, we can ask you because we were just talking about when lights a few years ago lit up Sagan and Ben and how different they look now and how they look faster and quicker. And what have you seen change with these two guys from a few years ago where they were struggling? I mentioned maybe the depth where they don't have to be the guys anymore, but you've seen it up close and personal.
Yeah, that was, right before the Winter Classic, and right before, you had me on for the first time. So again, appreciate it. But those two guys are, they are great players, and they certainly were. And I think the team wasn't as good. They had some injuries they're dealing with. No one gave a crap because they're making so much money, and they just expected more, and they're supposed to carry the torch, and they had their faces plastered all over the city. And so I think emotions got the best of anybody to say that about those guys. But specifically, I will say this: what we have done, the Dallas Stars have done here, is this is the first year that we've had taken a real hard look at our sports science programs. And so Troy Von Biesen, who I've known for a long time, and Miro and I used to fly him around the playoffs and pay for it ourselves back in the day. He's overseeing everything. And so the combination of having a deep team, not having to be the guys, Wyatt Johnson playing with Jamie Benn, and then this year specifically Duchesne coming in to play with Segi and Marchman have really just elevated this guy's game. And I heard Biz talking about being a Swiss Army knife as Segi's on pucks. He's At times he looks like he's cherry picking, but our D, we got solid D. They're finding him up there in the seams. He is a dog on a bone out there at times. It's great to watch. Jamie got a little lighter, got a little meaner. He fixed whatever he had to fix off the ice and off seasons. And, coupled with our programming, for sleep, food, all that stuff, how it works in the gym, rehab, prehab, whatever they need to do. I think that not only just helps physically, but helps you mentally, knowing that, you're at your best. But I really think the youthfulness of Wyatt, some intelligence and some leadership added by Pavelski has really helped these guys to just take a lot off their plate and just get out there and play. And that's all these guys want to do. They just want to win. They want to be part of a team and championship. And right now, our Stars are good a chance as any. And it does help, the 17 points in the second round. Like Biz said, it is absolutely crazy, but it's not when you watch these guys play and who they're playing with as well. So they're Stars again, or they're complimentary, doesn't matter. They just want to win. And right now they're doing that.
So you kind of mentioned like maybe Jamie, Ben, and Seguin buying a little bit more, like knowing what they need to fix away from the rink and getting a little bit lighter and more in shape. Like, how much influence has DeBoer had on these guys? Or obviously you have to take the accountability yourself, but how much has it been DeBoer getting all these guys to buy in and understand what's at stake and how what their bar is?
Well, I think that's important, right? Believing in the coach, believing in the system, having a high level of communication. Pete's a great guy, but he's the leader, and it's in the locker room. There's no wishy-washy with him, but he does it in such a great personal way that it's attractive to guys. And having a deep team again really does help. Where you can just roll out pretty much anybody, and to have Craig Smith and Sam Steele or Delandria or Roddick Foxa, number of these guys on our fourth line, and trusting them in any situation to get out there and maybe not have expectation for points really does help. But Pete seems to be pushing the right buttons. He's had multiple conversations with them when he first got here. He trusts them a lot. I mean, Jamie and Tyler play in the PK, which at times we're like, why would we do that? We want these guys to be fresh when we're asking them to put points on. But now it's like, who's putting our best foot forward with our deep lineup. And so this is the best forward lineup we've had in the history of our organization. No offense to the 99 team or anybody. It's just these guys are good. And, Tyler and Jamie are benefiting the most from it.
So they made a conscious effort to actually start getting Heiskanen out there against McDavid. It had been Lundell and Tanev, and then last game I noticed Heiskanen's on the ice every single time. Game 2 as well, I believe. He that guy is amazing to watch. Like the way he skates, the way he moves pucks, even his empty netter.
He is.
What's he like around the room? Is he quiet? Is he a quiet leader? What's he like in the gym? I imagine he's just a beast everywhere.
Yeah, he's the Nicholas Lidstrom type, where it's just natural for him. His hockey IQ is off the charts. He's an intelligent kid, but he is quiet. He's a quiet leader, but he is our best player. And this is a time of year that you see it. Sometimes, being drafted just ahead of Cale Makar, you're like, could he have more points like Cale? But, at the end of the day, it's about making the playoffs and having success in it. And we can't have it without Miro Heiskanen. I'm glad you noticed him being on the ice a little bit more, because I've been yearning for that as well.
Yeah.
He is the ultimate shutdown guy and with an offensive flair. He has the speed, the poise, the calmness, but the real intelligence to get out there and play with the Connor McDavids of the world. And, last series he had to take down, the Colorado guys. And that's him. That's what he does. And so he's built for the playoffs. He's built to play against top-level players, is why he plays the top pair for Team Finland when he plays in the Olympics or any of those championships. And he's all world. And, if you always say, who would you miss the most? Forward, goalie, this guy, it's Miro, and by a landslide. It's because of what he does, against those top guys. And so it's fun to watch. I'm glad you noticed that too.
Marty, even with the veterans still contributing a lot, does it feel like sort of a dawn of a new era when you got guys like Stankoven and Robo, Wyatt Johnson, Otta, Miro's still only 24 years old. I mean, it's like this new era is already here, but you still kind of have this connective tissue to an older era as well.
Yeah, we got everything. We had kids turning 21 in this playoffs. We have had guys turn 40, and It is quite a nice mix to see it. It was, we had a lot of vets in my era. I remember 99 and 2000, you just trade for pretty much a Hall of Fame D-man at the deadline, a 7th, 8th guy, never plays. And, but this new era of just mostly young guys.
So, guys, everybody watching live, I don't know if you guys were with us when he first joined. So he's dealing with tornadoes in his area and one touchdown near his house. So he was kind enough to drive to his office, but then the internet was out there too. So he was just, there he is there. We're just reminding everybody that you're dealing with tornadoes and chaos in your area, and you still had the jam to come on. So we're very appreciative. You were just talking about RA. It was a great question about the youth movement.
Not the best situation, but
yeah, we don't want to put you in danger here, buddy. If you're going to go to the basement or something, Jesus, scary.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. No, I love your show. You guys do great work, for the game of hockey. So love the opportunity to come on, and especially talk with Dallas Stars. This great run. So if you can hear me, great. Took me a few different roads to get here. There's a lot of trees down, a lot of uprooted trees, and so I just hope people in the area are safe. And I love you guys. So I might run to the basement, to be honest. So thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
No
problem. We're not that worth.
Yeah,
we're
holy shit.
How'd he go? He's doing a podcast.
He's talking to Chiclets.
Yeah.
Those fucking losers.
He was answering how he scored his first goal to RA, and then the tornado ripped through his house.
So, no, RA, it was a great question about the youth movement. And another one that I wanted to ask him about was Oettinger, right? Like, this guy is still pretty young in his career, but yet, like, you just see him get interviewed after games, never too high, never too low, so even keel, always like poised with his answers. They just did a feature on him on TNT, and they rolled it out before the game because we're doing like the 60-minute pre-games. But I mean, buddy, you need goaltending too. So really, it looks like they have it all, boys. Like, they just really, like I said, the only thing that we haven't seen yet is probably a little bit more pizzazz from Pavelski. But now that we're saying it, you just know that he's going to get in game 4 probably 2 tucks with. Right in that barn. It's probably going to be in a comeback.
I'm holding out hope for game 4. I think the Oilers have bounced back from bad games really well. They're down 3-2 to Vancouver. They win that series. I don't think this series is over. Obviously, if Edmonton loses the next one, I would be ready to kind of call it done. You're not beating them 3 in a row. But if Edmonton bounces back, you've seen Skinner bounce back. Now, granted, he bounced back after not starting a couple games. Can he kind of rebound from that goal, that Robertson goal? I would think he'd be able to because of how many big saves he made throughout the course of that game. And that's not a game. Granted, I think they only had 22 shots, 4 goals, but he made some big saves to build on for game 4. But he's going to have to be better. You can't let in a stinker. And the Stars and Leon and the power play's gone dry. They only had 5 power plays in 3 games, but they haven't scored. And that's kind of how they if they don't score, they build momentum, and all of a sudden everything's rolling, and they haven't been able to get anything. Credit to Dallas and their PK, but the series is not done yet. It's just a must win on Wednesday night.
What do you guys make of Knobloch kind of trying to? He chose his words carefully, but about the standard. Buddy, Dallas was the most disciplined team during the regular season, and they've been so far in playoffs. Like, I guess we'll roll it.
I've heard a lot about the past as being a spectator, not part of the NHL, not as a coach. The NHL, sometimes the standard gets changed a little bit. They would definitely want to make sure it's a penalty. Or in the regular season, maybe some things get let go. And, that's obviously unfortunate for us. We've got a very good power play, and we win a lot of games on the power play. It's unfortunate for us that it's tougher to draw penalties in the off season or in the playoffs, than it is regular season. But that being said, I think the standard's the same both for both teams. I'm not saying that it's unfair for us, but we would like the same standard.
Okay, that's my coach. That's our coach. I disagree with him. What in this series, if anything, Edmonton's been helped out. That embellishment call on Marchment last night was one of the worst I've ever seen. Now, he has prior issues of being a little bit of an
Army said the opposite. Army said that he kind of sold it a little bit.
That's a cross check to the lower back, dude.
That's what I'm saying. And as a forward going out when you're backing up like that, you are more on your toes. So if you come in with that much force for a cross check, you're usually falling down. But apparently he's been busted that way, where the minute that he feels any type of pressure, he's kind of giving it the So I don't know. But I agree with you. I do think that Edmonton was hosed in game 1 on the fact that Kane was called for the elbow on Heiskanen. I thought that was weak. Like his elbow like just grazed him. It's like, come on, playoffs here. And then the Holloway one, which was like the Holloway one was atrocious. But Dallas had 5 power plays. But at the end of the day, there's not one play I can remember where I would have said I would have called a penalty on Dallas and Edmonton got hosed there.
That's what I'm saying. I have no, like, that's a blatant hook. That it's like Dallas is in position. They all can skate, and they're hard to draw penalties against because they're never really getting on the wrong side of the puck. So, yeah, Edmonton, we need more power plays. But right now, I'm not going to sit here and say, like, this refereeing's bullshit. It's just, it's a great team you're playing against that's sound defensively. That's part of their strength, is not taking penalties. So
here's another one.
But I believe they get game 4 and tie this series up.
Here's another one. He was asked about the pulling the goalie situation.
The worst goalie pull of all time in game 2?
And then he's like, there was just some miscommunication. So we didn't have the bench angle at first. And I was like, I don't know. It looked like that kind of not Paul Coffey, the other guy who's on the defensive side. It looked like maybe he waved him over. So we looked at the tape. He actually had his hand leaning up against the glass, but he came because Knobloch was going like this. We couldn't catch Knobloch going like this. And then when Knobloch goes like this, and then he starts coming, you could see Knobloch start watching the play and going, whoa, 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 whoa. And it's like, buddy, you gave
already
him the hand signal, and if you're whoa-whoa-whoing it, you literally got to go like this. Go back. You have to signal it to him. He can't see you on the bench turning your head and going, whoa, 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 whoa. And then you saw the disappointment. It's like, that's your call.
No, buddy. That
miscommunication. How about you eat the shit sandwich? That's on you.
Yeah, you got to say it. That's on the Oilers fans were all over Bouchard about the game 2 empty netter. Bouchard didn't even know the goalie wasn't in the ice. He thought it was icing. He got out of the way. He's like, that's icing.
So what do you make of game 3s? Like, that was still
game 3s I didn't hate because they got a good chance. Okay. But dude, you got the goalie pulled. If you're going to lose a face-off, you have to get the wingers in. And what happened was Hyman made a good effort. Duchesne that could have been a penalty.
Unreal play.
That could have been a penalty, actually.
Complete
Duchesne just bodied Hyman, and it let Heiskanen get it. And it may look easy. That's, buddy, under pressure to hit the net there. That's a smooth-ass goal by Heiskanen. But Hyman got interfered with a little bit. You gotta at least tie those face-offs.
That empty netter has Heiskanen and my leader in the clubhouse for the Conn Smythe, because he just steps past the centerman on the draw and 200 feet right in the middle of the fucking net. Alligator blood, bitches.
Yep. Some more stats
thing about the empty netters in game 2 and 3 is, like, usually, you pull the goal, you get a couple chances.
You're not even expecting.
They've gotten 2 empty netters. You're just like, oh, game over. Like, it's the most anticlimactic thing. Like,
you didn't even get to tease
game's
it.
Over.
You didn't even get the ball tickle. You didn't get the nail scratch on the inner thigh. You didn't get nothing.
We got a few more numbers biz to get to, but first we do have a few words from our sponsor right now. All right, gang, before we go any further, here's a few words from our friends over at Game Time. Hey, folks, did you know you can get in the Celtics Game 5 for about $200 this Thursday night? Of course, if they sweep paces, it'll be a moot point, but still, 200 beans for a Celtics game? Last game before the finals, possibly? Oh, that's because Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports, has you covered. You shouldn't have to worry when you buy tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets to all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. Game Time has flash deals for sudden discounts. They have zone deals when you're feeling a little flexible, perhaps, and their lowest price guarantee, which means if you can find the same seats for less anywhere else, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. It's an unreal deal right there. And of course, Game Time is the best place for last-minute seats with up to 60% off your favorite events. What are you waiting for? I'm going to buy those Celtics tickets right now, and if they don't play the game, well, get my dough back and maybe put that money toward a Rolling Stones concert. They're playing Thursday as well. Get in nice and cheap there, playing Foxborough. But either way, you can take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Chiclets for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
My last thing before we go to this amazing
I got a
Eastern
couple more too.
Okay, is basically this series isn't over because in games 2 and 3, they were winnable games and they had long stretches with 0 shots and no pressure. If you can just put together 60 minutes, game 4, they're winning this game. They're winning the game. They cannot have a 10-minute stretch with 0 pressure and 0 shots. If that happens, they'll lose. But if they can put 60 together, this series is going to be tied up. I'm still positive. I'm nervous, but I'm positive.
It's over. They don't have as good of a back end. They don't have as good a goaltending.
You said Vancouver won the series too, you idiot. You said that series was over. So I don't mind you saying that. You said this exact thing about Van.
All right.
Some numbers on Heiskanen. This is via Megan.
I haven't seen Whit this fired up in a while. Are you going to read off the Heiskanen numbers about not being on the ice for a goal right now?
Yeah, from Megan Chayka from game 2 of the second round series versus Colorado through game 2 of this series. Heiskanen ranked second in ice time, 201 minutes, 45 seconds. In that time, the Stars outscored opponents 11-0, owned over 65% of the scoring chances generated with him on the ice. Shot attempts 92-65, slot shots 79-61. Scoring chances 56-29, high danger chances 11-4. Just an absolute monster on the ice. Has a huge difference when he's out there. Also, too, we got to mention game 2, Leon and Connor. Neither guy got a point. Games in which Leon and Connor a shutout. They're 2-8 in such games. It did end Leon's streak. He became just the 5th player in NHL history with a postseason opening point streak of at least 13 games. So nice run for Leon to start, but. Yeah,
nice,
man, they got their work cut out for them.
Nice individual awards.
Dallas,
hey, listen.
If Dallas wins the cup, I think Heiskanen might be one of the easiest Conn Smythe picks of all time.
Correct.
There's not even anyone else on the team remotely close. I'm sorry, Posh. I know you're Wyatt Johnson bet. I think he's got 8 goals now. It's Heiskanen. He's a point per game. You can't score when he's on the ice, and then they just light up the other team when he's playing. So
pretty impressive stat. I think it's Connor McDavid has been shut out 15 times maybe in his playoff career, or maybe it's even regular season, or I'm pretty sure it's playoffs. And in those 15 games after coming back from a game where he was held pointless, he's got 34 points now. So he's like 2 points per game. Pretty impressive from McDusty. But going back to what I was saying, I know I said that about another series, but I'm telling you, their D aren't good enough. Their goaltending's not good enough. And their stars sometimes forget how to play in their own end.
But the penalty killing bit has been unbelievable. Edmonton, I know we were just talking about Dallas's.
Fair enough. I don't think special teams is becoming a big enough factor in this series right now.
For us.
Which is bad for the Oilers.
Yeah, 21 straight kills over their last 7 games. They've killed 35 of 38 this whole playoffs. Pretty impressive. Whit, I don't know if you noticed this it was on NHL.com and on the app, but McDavid's goal. Did you see the little thing? It referred to as an own goal, instead of PPG.
Yeah, it actually went in off Sagan's.
Yeah, but I know, but I never seen that before. I never saw the site refer.
Well,
to it
they
as
do
an
that
own
because
goal.
then it's unassisted. So then that gets rid of the assist, and then gambling wise, that's how you know. All right, that's an own goal. There'll be no assist on the play.
So does he not get? So he doesn't get credited with a shot either.
That's a great question. I would guess no.
Merles has been having quite the time with these shot bets.
Oh, he's writing emails at 3 a.m. to the league.
Gary Bettman.
I saw a tip from Hyman at the 13-minute mark of the second period.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I saw on the box score, 2 different box scores. I saw Oettinger credited with 27 saves in one box score and 28 in another.
Oh, that changes nonstop.
But
every period.
But it was implying he only gave up 2 goals. But still, a goalie gives up a goal regardless of if a guy gets credit with a shot. He's still got a goal against regardless. So
yes,
yeah,
I don't know. Somebody effed that up. And McDavid, game 1 real quick. He had to sweat out that double minor when he cut Duchesne in the face there. I mean, he ended up making up for it with that nice little shovel tip.
Missing that goal, I was like, oh my God. And then of course he ends up getting the winner anyways. But that goal that he missed, Biz, you would have tucked that thing, baby.
Yeah,
You would have gone one knee down.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. But you know what? It's so typical of McJesus that he ends up getting the winner anyways and just being like, oh, no big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Tanev deserved as much, if not more,
did.
credit than Oettinger. I thought he made more of a play than Oettinger. I mean, obviously, Oettinger got the stick there, but I thought Tanev made the bigger play in that situation. He's been an absolute fucking monster out there, too. Doesn't put a lot of points out, but certainly prevents him going the other way. Biz, we got to bring up your boy Glassbanger. Did you know that Jackie was bringing him on that particular segment?
No, that's why they got security next to her in game 2. He seeked out the TNT camera. That was not supposed to be that was not a planned hit. And when yes, but when she was doing it, you could see all of a sudden his white blazer, his arm was in the screen. I go to Wayne. I'm like, Glassbanger's right next to her, and he goes, "No, it's not Nick." And I'm like, who else is wearing a white blazer that white? And then next thing you know, you could see the bob. And then I think Liam saw us talking about it and pointing. And he was like, Jackie, who is that next to you? And then she's like, and then boom. And he fucking pussied out. Did you see him? He started dropping L bombs. And then he took to Twitter and he starts going after me when he softened up on live TV. He's a fraud. He's a complete fraud. All right, did you watch it?
Oh, yeah,
he did.
He folded like a fucking Sunday paper. Totally. I love you, Biz. It's like, whoa, Jesus, buddy, get off your knees.
I know, you hate him.
Biz, did you say that Wayne knows Glassbanger's name? Like he knows his, like when you told that story, you go, he said Nick.
Yeah,
like, that's got to be the highlight of his career.
So his old man's loaded, who owns the seats, and he's also got a place at Gaza. So he lives at Gaza. So Wayne,
so they know each other.
Yeah, he's a pretty sick golfer too.
I love hearing
imagine
that.
we get a Glassbanger.
Imagine getting smashed by Imagine Glassbanger closing you out 8-7 in a match.
Make me look like a fucking mime.
Glassbanger sandbagger.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'd rather not play golf.
Before we get to the next series, we do have some words from our sponsor. All right, before we go any further, here's a few words from our friends over at DraftKings. Did you ever play the over-under game with your friends? You know, think I could eat that slice of pizza in under 30 seconds? Or, I know it'll take you over a minute to down that 2-liter. If you have, then you're going to love Pick 6, the newest fantasy app from DraftKings, an official partner of the NHL. Here's how to play during the Stanley Cup playoffs. Super simple. First, download the DraftKings Pick 6 app. Then, select between 2 and 6 players and choose if they'll have more or less of a stat. Like, say, will a player have more than 3 shots on goal? Will a player have less than 2 points? Track your picks and play against others for a huge shot at huge cash prizes. That's all there is to it. It's so simple, and for all the first-time Pick 6 players, check this out. New customers play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Whew. Jump in now to the new, most fun way to play fantasy sports. Pick 6 from DraftKings. Download the new DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code Chiclets. New customers play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. That's code Chiclets only at DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. That McDavid, that was his first multi-overtime playoff goal. First ever, he's got 2, and he only trails Glenn Anderson with 3 all-time. You would have thought all those big games from the Oilers in the 80s, they might have had more.
They're winning 8-1.
My poker face.
They had a
Biz,
end.
this playoff's been a coming out party for the comedic styles of Paul Maurice. How Biz with the press conferences?
Oh my God!
Hey, Hank doesn't like it. Hank got put on the spot there by Ace. You could tell he was a little uncomfortable.
So he goes Biz and Hank, and I just said I kind of agreed where I was like, I don't know, like sometimes it might become a bit much, like especially after a loss. I guess it was the next day. But obviously Hank was more opinionated about it, and like he's going to be taken more seriously. And yeah, I feel like he did kind of get jammed up there on the broadcast. What are your thoughts on it? Like, I think it's great for the game, right? Because you're not getting much out of the players. And I also think that he's clearly doing it as part to be a deflection.
It's like, it's a little bit of like an act. Like he's putting on like a face of like, I'm just going to be the attention. I'm going to get all the attention in between games.
And in a way better way, in a way better way than Torts too. Like I like his way.
He's not carving his players.
Yeah.
He's just kind of like
and the
making light
people
of
asking the
things.
questions. He's just kind of
or
carving
the
everyone.
reporters. But it was funny. I sensed that, like, what I felt after Ace threw it over to Lundqvist on that broadcast, I felt like Hank had been sitting there shitting on him, and then Ace is like, "You can't stand it." And he's like, no, I didn't say that.
Because when we were talking about, we were talking about it before.
I think he goes, "You hate it, huh, Hank?" He was like, "Oh,
no. Hank was saying, like, I was so serious after losses where I was so angry. Like, I didn't want to joke around. I wanted to be serious. I want to get back to winning. And, that's just kind of his method. And I, I found it. That's what I love about the panel, right? Guys are being honest, and you got a Hall of Famer saying it. So it's got so much weight and credibility. So yeah. How do you personally feel about it? Are there times where you're like, oh, maybe like, it's just like, it's being a bit much?
I don't think that. I guess part of it is because of the role we're in, where it's entertaining and you're talking about games and you're looking for quotes and you're like, all right, this guy's willing to. He's talking about how it's good to be pissed off after a loss, and he just
but he's also saying, "Oh, poor Jake. Let's pass around the hat."
Yeah, that's funny, dude.
I know.
That's funny shit. And so, like, you're sitting around and he's ripping
There
on the
it is.
MSG ice.
So this is about the Trouba hit.
Paul, I know last night you didn't want to play player safety and everything, and but Trouba was fine today. I guess
take the hat, pass it around. poor lad, poor Jake.
Well, I think that there's probably Rangers fans who can't stand it because he comes off a little cocky, right? He's sure of himself.
Yes.
He's a cocky guy.
It's like he's an actor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's like putting on an act for these. But, dude, it goes back to this entire series where there has to be something in his mind while being confident and comfortable. And the Panthers have played great. They're down 2-1. But are we playing a team of destiny? Are we playing a team who've had all these similarities to 1994? And let's add another. The second ever mid-season acquisition to score an overtime winner in the conference finals. Wenberg, just like Stefan Matteau did.
Oh.
And it was a game 3 in the conference finals in 94. It's all happening. And I don't know how the Rangers are up in this series besides Igor Shesterkin. Have you ever seen a goalie give up 4 goals in a game and play that good? This guy is, but like I said, if you're Florida and you're Maurice, it's like, we're fine. We are completely fine. We're going to win 99% of the games when we dominate play like we did in game 3, but it's the 2023-24 New York Rangers, and something's fucking different about this team. My worry for the Rangers, where is Artemi Panarin? Artemi Panarin, I don't know. It's not the same Artemi Panarin from the first 2 rounds. Would you agree?
No. I would agree. Yes, I would agree. It's not the same one.
Now you got Lafreniere though, scoring these fucking highlight reel goals. Like, that's this team. It's like some guy disappears, the other guy shows up, and then in the background of all of it is this goalie who I don't know what it is. He's out there and he's just dialed in and he's focused and he's pissed off, and he just you feel like if they're going to overtime, they're winning. They're 4-0 now, I believe, or if they maybe 5-0. So get to overtime, the Rangers are winning. And then with him in net, it's hard to get goals. It seems like it's got to be a deflection. It's got to be a greasy goal. It seems like Forsling just beat him. Unbelievable shot. Everything else, it's got to be some shit one, some deflection, some tip, because anything he sees besides Forslings, he's saving.
Yeah, I mean, Lafreniere's turned into McDavid, but he can actually play in his own end. And then on top of that, you got Goodrow turned to 07 Danny Heatley with 50 tucks. Barclay
Rangers
Goodrow,
fans should apologize to Goodrow. They've been carving him all year.
Really? Shocking.
They've been carving him all year.
You mean the same fans that booed their team after rattling off 7 in a row to start playoffs because they didn't score in a period in playoffs? They're spoiled right now. Team of Destiny. The fact that you brought another nugget. So let's go through them all now. So you have the fact that they won the President's Trophy, right? They won the first 7 game of playoffs. A natural hat trick happened with a Ranger that year, Kreider and Messier. You have an overtime
the Eclipse.
The Eclipse, the Earthquake, and now Wenberg, a deadline acquisition, getting an OT winner in Game 3 of the conference finals.
Yes.
Oh my! Is there anything else, RA, that we're forgetting?
34th comeback win this season, regular season and playoffs, the most in NHL history so far. They are 4-0 in postseason overtime games so far. Panthers just 1-2. Yeah, there was a rope-a-dope win. I mean, look at these stats from the third period. Panthers led 41-11 in shot attempts, 21-4 in scoring chances, 8-1 in high danger scoring chances, and they still come out with the win. And we got to talk about Rempe. Rangers 15-2 at Rempe in the lineup. You could say he's not having a factor, but the numbers speak for themselves.
I thought it was more than that. I thought it was like 30.
Too.
I thought, G, verify that stat. I think we got a biz stat from RA. RA, you've been buzzing. We're not even going to hold it against you, but
no,
maybe
I don't want. I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, maybe it was me who sent it to you.
It was sent over to me, so
What's the chat saying about the stat? With that maybe in the lineup?
Maybe would it be playoffs? No, because he didn't play that many playoffs.
How many Rangers fans do we have how many Fugazi Rangers fans do we have in the chat who don't know what their record is with Rempe?
Oh, here's another one. First game one of the Eastern Conference Finals in '94. They lost 3-0.
Wow. That's wild.
The fuck is going on here? Hey, we should. Did you put a future on these guys, RA? The one team you probably
didn't. He wasn't
Rangers,
afraid of them.
It's Boston. It's like just a Boston, New York thing. I just don't typically bet New York teams.
Okay, so the other thing that really stood out about Game 2 specifically was these two teams trying to kill each other.
They hate each other.
And the one thing is like New York, they got guys. They're not going to be bullied around. In Game 1, it looked like they tried to dip their toe in and they were insecure and they looked out of whack. Game 2 completely changed. They took hits. Who got rocked in the middle of the ice? Was that Wenberg?
Yeah, by Kulikov. And when we go to the Trouba hit, as long as this wasn't a major, Trouba shouldn't be a major. I'm fine with that.
Agreed.
I'm fine with that. If this was a major, give Trouba a major. But this not being one was worse than Trouba's not being one in my mind.
I disagree with you. I disagree with you.
That's more in the head.
That's an open ice hit.
Not the chicken wing.
But this guy's got a reputation. In round 2, he went airborne. He literally went lateral, trying to go human torpedo on McJesus. This is a guy who chicken wing Sid. This is a guy who didn't get suspended for that either. I don't even think he got a fucking penalty in that game. And then now you see him in the middle of the ice like this. Did it make direct contact with his head? No, he got him in the neck, and it kind of grazed off of his shoulder pad. But at the end of the day, man, like we have to consider intent and the fact that the neck is just as dangerous as the head when it comes to like a concussion. Like if you snap a guy's neck, that's like, I think that like when it goes back to Sid's original concussion, I think they figured out eventually it was like part of the neck, what was wrong with what was going on. He wasn't going to get enough
you know what's
oxygen.
crazy? Is I was with somebody like, why does Trouba always do this? He's getting burnt. This guy, like Pasha hates him. Dude, every time he does this, he's just beat. And most people, when they're beat, they're like, oh shit, I'm beat, or they stick out their foot. No, Trouba gets beat constantly and just literally sticks his elbow out.
You.
And it is
You're paying insurance on the way in.
It is complete luck that doesn't hit him in the face. Like, like he's not like, oh, I'm gonna throw my chicken wing out as I'm getting burnt, and then I'm just gonna catch his shoulder. It's like, oh fuck, good thing that didn't catch him in his jaw.
Yeah, good. Hey, good luck, man. Onus is on you. Yeah.
Rangers are 22-3-1 with Matt Rempe, and they've won 17 of their last 18 games with him.
What did you say, RA?
He said 15-2. He wasn't that
close
off.
enough.
Yeah,
close enough.
Yeah. He said, "I'm gonna toss him under the bus."
It's crazy to me that like this guy. He's, oh my God, Trouba chicken wing. Buddy, he's getting burnt like 3 times a game. And then he's just doing something dirty to try to save himself last minute. And this one, he got so lucky. If that caught him, he could have killed him. I mean, Rodriguez was down for quite a while and it didn't even connect right directly to his head. But the Kulikov one was also, it was interference. I thought it was high. I guess the principal point of contact wasn't his head there. But once that one was a penalty, I'm like, all right, I can. Once I saw the other angle of Trouba's, the behind one, the pictures we just showed, okay, 2 minutes, fine.
Lamborghini was also running around in Game 2 too, so
he's out tonight, I guess. He hurt Veazey.
I buried Jimmy. Jimmy might not see him for the rest of the
series.
That's
one where it looked
Probably
like as soon as he got him, he wasn't expecting it. It snapped his neck. Like watch, he kind of leaning with his head, and then like his neck just goes.
Boys, we do have a very hard-hitting defenseman on tap. We're going to bring him on right now. But first, we do have a word from one of our sponsors.
Who do we got?
All right, before we go any further, here's a few words from our friends at Kraken. Today, we're talking about Kraken, one of the OG crypto platforms. These guys have been around way longer than the hockey team, for over a decade, in fact. And Kraken's world-class security is like having an all-star goalie protecting your assets 24/7. It gives you peace of mind when it comes to trading. And with over 190 cryptocurrencies available, there's something for everyone here. Or maybe you're looking for new ways to approach your strategy in crypto. The Kraken Learn Center is an awesome educational resource for all experience levels. So join the 10 million plus clients already using Kraken's intuitive platform to buy crypto. Go to kraken.com/chiclets and see what crypto can be. Not investment advice. Crypto trading involves risk of loss. All right, now we're going to bring on a Florida Panthers legend, great defenseman back in the day, Jovo Cop himself, Eddie Jovanovski. Thanks for joining us, buddy. It's been a minute.
Tan.
Look at that tan.
Holy shit, dude.
It's blood pressure.
Are you?
It's not the tan.
How the hell you been, pal?
I've been good, guys. I've been good. Great.
Jovo, talk to us right now about the feeling. Panthers, I said, they've been great. Like, I don't feel like they say they have to change that much going into game 4.
Hey, you're right, Whit. I really, you look at last game and you look at all the games, you could really make a case for this, being 3-0, either way. I mean,
you sound like Rob Brindamore.
Right. Listen, I mean, going to last game, a great start into the game. The rink was buzzing. Yeah, going into that game, and for whatever reason, just kind of fell asleep for a little bit and find yourself trailing in that game. But I tell you what, man, when this team turns it up, you guys were rattling off the stats there in the third period. It was embarrassing. Lavi had to call a timeout to settle the troops down. They were coming in waves. So I think they can hang their hat on that, knowing that, hey, listen, if we play the right way and just kind of clean up a couple areas, guys busting through the middle, couple easy plays, Lafreniere kind of getting through 3 guys, you don't see that with this team. So you clean up a couple of those areas, you got to feel, for the players, you got to feel pretty good heading into this game to even up this series.
I was very surprised that Lafreniere's second goal, Kulikov just got walked, but even Ekman Larson was kind of like, he wasn't all in on getting. It felt like he could have broken him up after he toe dragged Kulikov, but like you're saying, maybe just a little bit of sleep at the wheel for parts of that second period.
Yeah, I think so, and it's very uncharacteristic of this group. I mean, Kulikov's been excellent. I really don't know what he was doing there, kind of going on his knee in that situation. And I think sometimes as a defenseman, when the guy's beat, I mean, you just kind of get your stick in there and hopefully you're going to kind of poke it away. But you got to give it to Lafreniere. It was a hell of a move, kind of posting in on that. And if you want to really kind of bust it down, I think Bob probably wants a couple of those goals back in that game. I feel he was as sharp as he has been in the playoffs, but nonetheless, they got themselves back into this game and they had a chance to win it. And, this goal that happened in overtime, Wenberg, I mean, the guy hasn't scored, in a long while. It just kind of hits the handcuffs there.
Cross-checked it.
Yeah, cross-checked it in the net, but right place, right time. And, in the playoffs, anything can happen.
I was just going to ask, I mean, a lot of guys stepped up, and I think last year was kind of Chucky's year, where he was kind of the superstar of the team. I feel like Barkov this year has just been on a different planet. The way he covers the 200-foot game, the way he smothers the middle of the ice, and like the plays he makes. Like, just talk about him and what he means to this team. And to me, if I got to pick one center to go into playoffs as a guy I want to win a cup with, he might be that guy.
He might be that guy. Just the fact that how responsible he is on the other side of the puck. He's put in key situations, all the same shit you hear all the time with Barkov. So good on faceoffs. The way he tracks back into the zone, first man back, he's so well positioned. And for some reason, I feel like he's got a mean streak to him this playoff. I don't know where it was on this series. I believe he was kind of parked in front of the net. Someone actually jumped.
Somebody put him in a headlock.
Right, jumped and tried to move him out of the blue paint area, and he gets his 230 pounds planted in the ice. Is very tough to move, but I think the taste of last year, guys, for him, knowing how close they are again to possibly winning this thing, helped him experience-wise, and he's taking it on. I mean, he's the leader of this group, and you're seeing him do things that normally you don't see him do throughout the year, playing a little physical. But again, you still want him to shoot a little bit more. He's still that player where he likes to kind of make his line mates better. But I think at this point of the season, in the playoffs, you got to be selfish at sometimes and just let it rip, because he does got a great shot and he can be a goaltender from anywhere.
Jova, another guy we've talked about a lot, Gustav Forsling. What does he do so good that he's been such a standout defenseman this playoffs?
That was a Jovo snapshot, that goal to tie it up.
Oh, yeah.
That was literally reminded me of one of yours.
120 flex.
Right, exactly. All right, I think when you look at him, I don't want to say this. I mean, the guy's never out of position. And I think as a defenseman, less is more. And once you start kind of doing a little bit more, it just doesn't work. So I think he recognizes, hey, listen, get the puck. If I got that 5-10 foot pass, make that play and kind of follow up. But, just in the defensive zone, I mean, he's very solid, very smart player. Just the hunger behind his game, just kind of knowing where he was, right? 3 years ago, looking for work pretty much. And to come into this situation, but he's a guy that eats a lot of minutes, plays against the top lines every single night. He's got those tough assignments. So, for him to see him contribute, he's got a howitzer. I always said it through our coverage throughout the Panthers this year, that I'd hide him in that top 5 to 7 defenseman throughout the year just by seeing him each and every night. The guy never really makes a mistake, and I hope, God forbid, doesn't make any here tonight.
Yeah, 2 pizzas coming.
Yeah, but listen, he's been a great find. I think the team got a nice contract out of him, for the next 8 years. But certainly a great find, and he's been excellent, for the Panthers.
So Rangers fans, I've seen some discussion that through 3 games, Kreider has done nothing, Zibanejad's done nothing, Panarin has 1 second assist. Who on Florida's side would you maybe want to see a little bit more out of? Because you're watching that team more closely, where not trying to call guys out, but in terms of I know these guys maybe have a little bit more after what I've seen the first 2 rounds.
I don't think there's. I mean, looking at last game, you look at Reinhart kind of going into that. He had an excellent night. You look at bottom 6 players. And I got to put my glasses on, look at the lines. I heard there's actually going to be lineup changes here.
Yeah, they said Lamborghini's coming out.
Lamborghini, and I know Lawrence is going to play with Okposo between Stenlund in the middle there. Yeah. So, but you look. I always look at the guys like a Luosterainen, Lundell, these type of players that you want. Like Lundell's been good, but Luosterainen. Even like Bennett a little bit this series, you want him to be a little quiet. So you want your horses at the end of the day to contribute. There's always going to be that guy, just like on the other side, Barclay Goodrow, who's having a heck of a series. You want these guys to step up. But I look at those guys, like a guy like Luosterainen can be a little bit of a difference guy. You want Reinhart to keep going. You can add Verhaeghe in there too, maybe snipe one.
Yeah, he's looked a little bit.
Too
perimeter.
Tough, and it's tough. The Rangers do a pretty good job insulating the middle of the ice, but overall, you just like to see everyone just kind of have a night here tonight, because I think they deserve this win, and we want to see a long series.
Bennett's going to murder someone tonight.
I was just going to say,
I'm going to murder someone.
We're getting Bennett the Menace tonight.
He's doing something bad tonight.
We're getting chaos. Hey, speaking of chaos, another guy actually who kind of reminds me of you, the way he got that blood that can get boil a little bit, is Montour. Like offensive defenseman, but he's got a mean streak to him too. And I felt like he maybe had an okay regular season. He looked awesome in the first 2 rounds. Now he seems like another guy I feel like can kind of raise the bar and step up to another level.
Yeah, because we're so used to him being so, good, the way he skates, the way he moves the puck, the way he anticipates. I like to see him rip it a little bit more on the power play.
Yeah.
They really like to kind of flood that one side, Barkov, Tkachuk, find Reinhart in the middle. But, sometimes you just got to let it rip in the middle. He does got a cannon of a shot. He's got a bomb. And but overall, like too, you look at a guy like Ekblad, he's kind of come into that real defensive, role, but he still's got it offensively. You want to be able to chip in from the back end. But you're right, Biz. I like to see Montour have an impact on this game here tonight. Not only him, but most of their leadership group.
Jovo, for a guy who played there a long time, and when I was with you for a minute, like the crowds when the teams weren't great, they weren't awesome, but
right.
I don't know, the atmosphere now, it looks like a party in there. It looks loud. How cool has it been with their home games this run?
Well, it's been excellent. I mean, it's just. Right from you pull up to the rink and they're all outside, just like you see at every other rink right now at this time of year. Everyone's having a good time. The game presentation. I don't know if they went to Vegas and last year seeing what Vegas.
Oh,
did.
they're lighting it up before the game.
They're lighting it up on the ice. They got
That's
the strobe
awesome.
lights going on. They bring in like athletes, celebs, whatever, banging the drum. So they're doing it right, and the fans have really bought in. This series has been a little bit different. I want to say it's like 20% Rangers. It could be more. But God, I hate it. I really do. Oh, man, it's tough to see because, at one point the Rangers scored and you didn't know who it was. You thought the Panthers might have scored. I was walking around, and so they're getting the support there, which makes it so
like
much.
a Coyotes building when we were there.
Right.
It's the Blackhawks. It's like, holy
exactly.
fuck. It's louder than our goal horn.
But it makes for that. It's just a great atmosphere in the building. And I don't expect anything here different here tonight. It's going to be a zoo in there.
Eddie, we were just talking about Paul Maurice, the coach. He's really kind of letting his hair down these players. Is he just like enjoying the moment more that he's been around the league so much longer? Is that the sense you get?
Is he going to get a Netflix special?
Yeah, who knows? He might be one of those guys being followed at this point. The way he's coming out with his one-liners. But I think this guy's been around forever. I think he's very polished, as a coach, the way he handles the media. He's got some bite to his, as you all saw in his press conferences. But he's just kind of a joy to be around. He's been around the guys a lot. I think the players really love him. The respect factor that he gives his players. He just wants hard work. And for the most part, you can see Maurice kind of let the guys do their thing until they really get kind of woken up a little bit, and then he'll, go ape shit on the bench. But he's a relaxed guy. I think he understands the way the ebbs and flows of a hockey game, the management side of it that goes in the game during the game, kind of matching lines and where to feel. But I think for him having the experience that he has with multiple teams and the games that he's coached. Why not have fun? You look at all the coaches, what they say to players. Enjoy the moment. For the coaches, it's got to be the same thing. Kind of walking out to this 19,000 fans screaming. You're one of 4 teams remaining. You got to enjoy the moment.
A lot of rubber tits on the glass in that building, eh? Buddy, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable there.
Dallas, Florida could be a final of just tit jobs.
Rubber tit land. Walmart tits.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Another guy.
It used to be like, oh my God, look at those. Now it's kind of like, yeah, she doesn't have them.
Oh.
So it's like, they're everywhere.
I was just going to ask you about like a tactical situation. Edmonton did it on their first 2 goals last night. I feel like anytime Florida's in any type of trouble, they do a pretty good job of just launching grenades into the neutral zone. Is that something they do all the time?
I think it's a sneaky play for D-men, Joe.
I think it's
a high flip.
Oh, it's so
hard.
It's
a high flip. It's got to get out. There's sometimes where it's been picked off, and you're like, why you have room to skate it or make that 5-10 foot pass. You see it kind of around. I know the Panthers do it. There's guys on the group that like to get that flipper going, and you're getting a little bit of confusion in that neutral zone. But I think for the most part, this group, when they do have, room to skate it, they're going to move it out. But it could be. I don't know if it's – I haven't asked the question if it's, hey, guys, is this one of the plays that you're looking at in the Z zone, kind of getting that foot race in the neutral zone? But you're right. At some point – there's been plays where it works for you and you're kind of going the other way.
You look like a fucking asshole when you try to do the flipper and you don't get all of it.
It rolls over your stick. It's like, oh boy, here we go. It was like yesterday in the game. I don't know who it was. Dallas was on the PK, and they're kind of ripping. They got it in their zone. They're ripping it, and I think it was Steele. I just gave it like a nice pass over to someone in the middle, and then it just started cycling again in the zone. And I'm like, oh boy, this is not going to end up good. You almost wonder, you got 85 feet, to send the puck down the ice, and you want to throw it right up the middle. But
when the high flip doesn't work, the coaches explode.
Oh,
do it hard.
You don't even want to go back to the bench. You go with the Zamboni entrance. You're like, I'm out of here. I'm not even coming back there. Jova, what about Florida's game impresses you the most? Like about how they're able to control the game? Because most of the season they were pretty dominant. So like from watching them so much, what do they do so well that frustrates opponents?
Well, you guys and all over, the coverage of this team. I mean, you look at the way they forecheck. They rim and they've never been a team too that they've always been a team that gets these chances off the rush. Now they're a team that's firing the puck in, and they have one guy going and the other guy behind him, and they're getting these turnovers, and they're just hemming teams. They're skating teams into the ice in the offensive zone. They're creating a lot of opportunity. This team can skate, and when they have that pace, they're very tough to defend. Their D get involved. They're not afraid to kind of pinch down a little bit because they do have the good third man that's always in a good position. And you see, they're almost like in Dallas in a sense when they're up on a team. They really don't give a team a sniff.
No, they can close out.
It's games. Like they can close out games, and that's something that this group hasn't had. I think the experience with Maurice when he first came here. And listen, this is going to take a while. We can't win with the way this team has played. We have to bring in that defensive side of things, which has worked for them. But just the way they hound pucks in the offensive zone, the way they kind of just not afraid to make plays as well, I think has really been beneficial for this group.
What'd you think of the Trouba chicken wing?
Well, I've been in that scenario before.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
Oh boy. I remember.
He's got me
vividly. Yeah, Johnny Tavares. We're actually in Arizona. He kind of walked me like that, and the old chicken wing got out. I got a couple games for it. Listen, I think Trouba, when you look at him, he's a vicious player. And maybe he's going back to Marchand's comments. He's hitting to hurt, And, he might have got him in that neck area, but I still think, what do you call a forearm shiver or an elbow? I think it was, you can consider it elbow.
2 minutes well worth it.
The intent.
Yeah, right. I'll take the 2 minutes. But I think Uppy had actually this. I don't know if you guys saw this, but when a player gets a penalty, 2 penalties on one play, they should have that option of either do it 5-on-3 for 2 minutes.
I was wondering that too.
So if it's the same player, right? Yeah, if it's the same player, goes to 5-on-4. Where if it's different players, it's obviously 5-on-3. I agree with you. If especially for that as an infraction, like you just elbowed a guy in the fucking throat. Like, yeah, you should get basically a guaranteed goal.
But Biz, during the game, I'm like, okay, 5-on-3. I didn't realize it was Trouba that actually had the original call. There's a little bit too much going on in the Panther bar there to follow what's going on the first play.
A lot of rubber tits.
But yeah, it was. I mean, Wits, listen to you and that before this coming on. I think Trouba does put himself in very tough spots, and I think you're right. I mean, you almost want him to play that reckless a little bit because a lot of time he is out of position. And I think
he's going forward a lot, Joe, though. Like, as opposed to back skating, he's always going at the guy, and it's like
maybe
it's so good that you ain't gonna stop him all the time.
Right. And maybe he has the belief that he's got back checkers fill in, but he does take that chance on kind of getting you in the trolley tracks and really trying to get you on the coming up part. But I think it's one of those areas where the Panthers really can expose that area. If he's going to run around, I'm interested to see how this game unfolds with him here tonight.
Eddie, another guy I want to ask about. I believe his rookie year was y'all last year in the league. Vincent Trocheck. Are you surprised at all by the level he's playing at right now? I mean, basically the best skater on the Rangers all playoffs.
No, I mean, you saw it as a young player. I mean, obviously had it, just kind of putting things together and having the experience. but you always knew that he was that Swiss Army, knife type player. Being situations, you can see him. He's doing a lot of scoring. He's killing penalties, face-offs, PP. So he's been a great player in this league, and he's almost that shit disturber too. That you just it gets on your skin a little bit subtly, but he's in there. He's in there a lot, and he's turned into a nice, fine player.
Well, Jovo, we can't thank you for coming on enough, dude. This has been great. We're going to get into the Rangers a little bit, but this series, I think, is going 7. I can't wait to see how tonight plays out, but I love that you'll be in the building.
All right, boys. Anytime. Hopefully we can do this next round.
Absolutely.
All right, buddy.
Thanks so much, Jovo.
We're staying at your place if you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it.
Absolutely. I might not be in a relationship anymore, but take that.
Hey, fuck it. Me neither. Hey, RA either. We're all be single together.
Light up Fort Lauderdale together.
Three musketeers. All right. Thanks so much, Jovo.
So I think with all that Panthers talk, we gotta go into Goodrow. And how I brought up that it was a tough year, like fan-wise, offensively, which what they weren't expecting. But the biggest thing that I've heard that's so true is Goodrow is there for this time of the season. You're bringing that guy in to play a few minutes in the regular season, to PK or whatever. I mean, I'm not saying he's always doing that, but you get into the playoffs, you got a Stanley Cup champion who's a big body, and he's just shown how valuable he can be when the game changes. This is not a regular season player. And he goes out, and what a shot in game 2. I mean, he's outside the dots, hell of a wrist shot. I'm sure Bobrovsky would probably say he wants it back. But then what he does in game 3 also, it's like when you don't have your top guys playing the way they need to, and we said Zibanejad, Panarin, and Kreider, they're not doing anything. But boom, this guy steps up. He's won it before. He's won it twice before, and he knows exactly what it takes. So without him, that's Chris Drury thinking ahead, thinking to the playoffs of having a guy who's won before and can play solid, dependable minutes. And him throwing in the offense is that's the cherry on top.
Icing on the cake. What's he got now? 6?
Yeah, 6 goals, 2 assists in 13 games. And he's got, 5 of those goals in the last 6 games.
And I think it goes without saying, if you get this far into playoffs, you always have to have certain guys step up that were not, not supposed to step up. And he's obviously one of those guys. And for those of you who might have just joined us, like Lafreniere, we talked about him, man. He's fucking this season, this turnaround season he's had coming into his own. He's looked incredible and no moment too big. Those goals were like McDavid style goals. Like for him to go to the backhand and get that much leverage on that shot. Like we had, listen, like I said, best game of the playoffs. We had 3 Hattie watches, 2 of guys of which uncharacteristic. So just an incredible game for the New York Rangers. I don't know if there's anyone else who really steps up or stands out for them.
So Fox is standing out to me as being banged up. I think
that was like last round.
It's the same thing. So you got to be impressed that he's playing through something, probably that knee, but you can just tell that something's lacking. I thought Lindgren has been real solid as always, eating pucks just defensively. He gets that shot through on the tip by Wenberg to win the game. That's like a player who's needed to step up, but you just wonder, like, it's hard for Fox right now. He's not the fastest guy in the world. He doesn't need to be ever because of how smart he is and his little head fakes. But you're just seeing times where you're like, oh, we need him to be the Adam Fox. And I think it's going to be tough for him to be the guy who could dominate in the regular season, battling an injury the way he is.
Yeah. Boys, I mean, but still, like, the fact that they haven't played that great this series and they haven't got all their guys going and they're up 2-1. If they win game 4, boys, I don't see this team losing 3 in a row. Like they are going to, I think in both series, if either team gets up 3-1, I think the series is over.
I would agree with that.
I would give Florida way more of a chance coming back on New York than I would Edmonton on Dallas. But those guys are in knee deep right now.
What's crazy about the playoffs is like the series start and you're 7-game series, but they're quick. And like all of a sudden, Florida, who's played great, they're looking at a game tonight like we have to tie this series up. And we've been really happy with our games through 3, and all of a sudden we've have this goalie who's just stepping up in the biggest moments. Bobrovsky would be a little better, I think. I know we got the shutout in game 1, but we're at home and we got a must win and we've been playing great. That's how bizarre and how quick these series go. And Florida has some sort of panic in their game tonight, which is why I think we'll see their best effort. This is a team, they went to the Cup final. They were all banged up. They're back now. They got a chance to do it again. I think they come out guns a-blazing. I love the Panthers tonight. I think the Rangers win the series, but I think it's going 2-2 after this one.
What do you got them at? What's the score tonight? 3-2 Panthers?
I think they win. I was going to say 3-1 with an empty netter because I think that for Shesterkin to win a game giving up 4, he's probably going to dial it in even more. But I think Bennett's going tonight. I think you'll see a little bit more out of Tkachuk. The lineup changes. Interesting to see them change the fourth line that much with how much they dominated. But when you lose a game 3, when at one point the shot attempts were 92-32, it's like, guys, just a little bit more and we'll get this game tonight. That's how they're looking at it.
I'm going to predict a 4-2 win for the Florida Panthers, actually.
Empty netter or no?
Sure. Puck line, Jesus, RA.
Okay.
Yeah, Biz, just go back to that second Lafreniere goal. The bench reaction was awesome. Like, when you get your own teammates jumping up like that, and then Vinny, they had a bleep. He was like, how the fuck did you do that? How the fuck did you do that? He was like basically grilling him how he scored that goal.
Yeah, he said, he goes, in an interview after, he's like, I just saw him dancing. He's a great player. Like, he has come into his own, and we've said it a million times. You can't expect every first overall pick to dominate right away. And he's gotten better and better and better. And now it looks like this guy could be a point per game player in the NHL.
Yeah,
because in the playoffs, to step up the way he has, it's beyond impressive.
Yeah, patience is key, man. I mean, this kid's still only 22 years old. I think bringing Laviolette has been huge for him compared to the last couple of years. What are you laughing at, Biz boy?
Boys, so off topic, did you guys see that South Park Lizzo thing and then her reacting to South Park? Oh my God.
South Park.
It's the
what did they do to her on the show?
Legit just carved her for like 4 minutes straight about being fat. Like, it's just insane.
They basically said they came up with this new Ozempic called Lizzo.
Yeah,
Lizzo. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
It's and then she films herself.
Oh, she's just like, she was kind of cool about it. Like, she actually was like, oh my God. Oh, I thought she was going to be, she probably is pissed because she's been getting dumped on lately, but I don't know. It was just fucking funny. For you people, like, some of you might be like, oh, it's not funny, but South Park's fucking funny.
I saw a documentary about South Park. They make the show like that week.
Oh, yeah, they're geniuses.
It's incredible. And they're sitting in the writing room and they're throwing out different ideas and jokes. And they can get away with anything because it's a cartoon.
I kind of want to make a hockey cartoon and do all the different voices.
You respect my authority.
Yeah, we should get RA in the voice, whatever you call it.
Wait, you're like, you had a shark's face there.
I was just I never heard your South Park voice.
I know. I don't know if I ever did it before. And just to jump on Lindgren again, I just thinking back what Eddie Joe just said about Forsling, less is more. Like Lindgren, I mean, they think they got him in the Rick Nash trade years ago. He's playing over 21 minutes a game, and he's one of those guys that you do win Stanley Cups when he's not the flashiest defenseman out there. He makes the right play. Like, so much of the time, he's one of those guys you'll tend to notice him only when he does screw up. And he got that quick shot off that ended up getting the game winner too. So good stuff from Lindgren. Love to see it.
Hey, but boys, we got to be done stroking off the fucking Rangers, man. I'm getting sick to my stomach here.
Yeah,
it's like Gwen Stefani. They're gonna have to pump my stomach.
They deserve it.
Yeah,
wow. Steaming in my belly after giving them the double wristers.
One last series note though, Biz. Sorry, Big Walt, but Matthew, your son has already passed you on playoff points. Matthew's got 57 points in 61 games. Keith had 56 points in 89 games way back in the day. So congrats to Matty passing the old man. And it is time for a word from our sponsor.
All right, guys, before we go any farther, I want to talk to you about our good friends at Farmer's Dog. I've never understood why we feed our dogs kibble. There's no way it's healthy for them. So when we got ravioli, we looked elsewhere, and that's when we found Farmer's Dog. The days are warmer. The walks are longer, and one easy way to help your dog shine this season is with fresh, healthy food from the Farmer's Dog. The Farmer's Dog makes real, fresh dog food and delivers it right to your door. Recipes are developed by vet nutritionists, made from real meat and veggies, and portioned for your dog just the way she likes it, making it real easy to say goodbye to burnt brown balls and feed your dog real food with real benefits. This is what they send over. This is Ravioli's beef recipe. It has her name. It has her portions, how much she's supposed to eat each day, it really doesn't get any better than Farmer's Dog. It's smart, healthy pet food. You can feel good about feeding your pup. It's the best option for dogs of all life stages because it's not kibble, it's not canned goo, it's real healthy food. Traditional dry and wet dog food options are highly processed, can use much lower quality ingredients than they claim to, and are extremely difficult to portion accurately. Like I said, this tells you exactly how much you're supposed to eat each day. The Farmer's Dog isn't just fresh, high-quality food. They also send the food pre-portioned specifically for your dog based on their unique needs. It doesn't matter if your dog is young or old. It's always the right time to begin investing in their health. That means more happy, healthy, and full years together. Get 50% off your first box of fresh, healthy food at thefarmersdog.com/chiclets. Plus, you get free shipping. Just go to thefarmersdog.com/chiclets to get 50% off. That's thefarmersdog.com/chiclets.
All right, boys. After this weekend, a lot of folks are clamoring for ice-level fight cams, like we saw the Memorial Cup round robin between Max McHugh from London and Caleb Parker from Moose Jaw. Check it out right here. It's good stuff.
Don't
man.
show David Branch this.
Oh, we have to address that.
We
have to address the pussy suspension, pussy gate.
Yep.
This is the segue. Yeah.
I had multiple people reach out to me saying that the kid that was called a pussy had absolutely nothing to do with it. I was told that the linesman heard it and that the linesman went to the ref, and we were hard on the kid who apparently was a tattletale. That was not the story. We had conflicting reports.
Who did you hear from?
I can't say.
No, because obviously I heard from Saginaw. Now, first of all, I'm kidding when I say I would renounce my draft status and want no association to the Saginaw Spirit. Like, some people from the town, I think, took that very seriously. We fuck around here on the podcast. I was just fucking around. Okay. That's first things first. So then they called to tell me about the fact that this has been made up. Ken Campbell reported this, right, in the Hockey News. Now, I spoke with the other side. They also said you could see in the video where the kid from Saginaw looks over at the ref after it was said, and he says, "Did you hear that?" So that's what he meant in a sense of tattletaling, where, I don't know, reinforcing that the guy said it, maybe, and maybe that they felt that the ref felt pressure to go report it because that guy's dad worked for the league. But I guess when the kid was drafted to Saginaw, his father didn't work with the league. He renounced his position because of the conflict of interest. The problem is, though, his name is still on the website, the OHL website. So that's where I think people drew that in. So, but after talking once again to the London side, it was restated that no, he reinforced to the official.
Wow, so we got a he said.
That's what I'm saying. That and obviously I want to take Saginaw side, but I'm reporting the facts about what I'm hearing from both sides. Saginaw saying, "Fuck you, that's bullshit. I never said fuck all the official. He said it, and the referee took it and went and filed the report." Now, from my understanding, there has only been one other incident like this in the OHL's history, and apparently it was also against Saginaw.
Oh boy.
And but once again, I'm trying to collect the truth and understand what the fuck is going on with Pussygate. But also, as reinforced by the London side, they go, "Biz, the word pussy is thrown around 10 times a game in these fucking scrums."
A shift.
So it just so happens that the one time it's said in a scrum, it's against this guy whose father worked for the league, right? So, and once again, that the kid heard him reinforce it to the official. "Hey, did you hear what he said? You can't say that." One of those kind of things. So
we don't know the truth.
We don't know the truth. But what
Saginaw fought back hard that we had it wrong.
We have it wrong. So right now, I'm saying I don't know what the truth is, right? Only God knows.
I know the truth. That Branch upheld the suspension was the pathetic loser in all of this.
That's the whole point we were trying to make. This is a bullshit suspension. The fact that the word pussy is in this anti-bullying thing, when, mind you, he said it back to a person who threatened injury upon him. That is the definition of bullying. Not saying, "No, you won't do it because you're a pussy." Also, another truth that we know about this, these two teams meet on a Wednesday. tomorrow.
How do
And
I
the
watch
Memorial
the Memorial
Cup?
Cup?
The Memorial Cup. Both teams right now, as it stands, from my understanding, are 2-0. So whoever wins that game gets a bye to the final of the Memorial Cup.
Oh,
If I don't see that ref fight cam between those two fucking guys at center ice, we need it. Come on, Spirit. You tell those diabetics on the other side that you want a fucking piece of them. And if you're the London Knights and you're saying Sagan's the diabetic, so basically what I'm doing right now is putting an online bounty on both teams' heads. Let's fucking go Memorial Cup. How do you like that one, David Branch? How do you like that one, Branch?
Imagine him watching South Park.
He ain't going to be happy. He ain't going to be happy.
Delete that.
So I want to see Saginaw Spirit get that bye to the finals and beat the wheels off those fucking cake eaters in London who get paid in the Louis Vuitton duffel bags. Come on, Saginaw. Let's go. I'm not renouncing nothing. I'm part of the squad. Hey, dress me up. I'll fight him.
Not going to renounce. You going to renounce Satan, Biz, or what?
What do you mean? Satan what?
It's a line from The Godfather. I know you probably never saw The Godfather in all his works. Did you ever?
I've never seen it front to back. I've always just seen it in parts.
Yeah, I gotta
sit down and maybe take a few gummies and watch it.
Absolutely.
But, hey, at least that we got a little bit of drama in junior hockey. Like, this is a thing. We have a guy saying that a guy tattletailed the guy and got him a 5-game sussy. Like, guys' names are being thrown under the bus here. Would you not agree?
Yeah. Yeah, and in the original report, again, was Ken Campbell on the Hockey News. We didn't make any of it up. That's where
But he's reporting what London's side was, and I've watched the video, and it does look like the kid leans back and says something to the official.
You got to send me the video.
I'm going to, man. I'm going to. So when Saginaw was obviously upset at the fact that I took Ken Campbell and London's side and word for it. And I said, listen, I have no problem like rehashing this, but I said, send me the video. And then when I watched the video, I'm like, fuck, he looks back and says something at him. I'm going to send it to you right now.
Send it over. Boys, tons of coaching news this last week. All kinds of stuff going on. I don't know if you guys heard, a Boston-based writer broke the news on Twitter that Sheldon Keefe would be the next head coach of the New Jersey Devils the other day.
All right. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. How happy were you that you got one?
What?
Dynamite.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
Oh, they couldn't write Chiclets?
No, actually, a lot of people chimed in about that, and no, that was done correctly, because I know, not everyone in the Chiclets family is necessarily a fan of Greg Wyshynski. I go way back with Greg. I like him. I sat with him a couple of playoff games, and I teased him. I saw what ESPN wouldn't let you write Spittin Chiclets. He's like, no, not at all. He goes, but you broke it from your personal feed. It wasn't on the show. It wasn't from the actual account. So he did it like the right way. He properly attributed journalistically wise. And he said they wouldn't let me.
But if Elliot breaks it on his own feed, it says Sportsnet's Elliot Friedman breaks trade. What are you talking about?
I mean, I guess maybe it's splitting hairs. I mean, you could say Chiclets is. Other outlets did say it. Like, I know.
All right, I will say this. Are we talking about the fact that he didn't get credit again?
No.
Did you see the screenshot that was just up there? It says Boston-based writer.
Which
that's amazing.
Like it's calm.
That's amazing.
Herald.
Oh no! Honestly, I'm so happy that it played out that way, because my dad, if it came up rare at Chiclets, my dad would be happy. But the fact he was able to see his last name, our last name,
awesome.
on the
That's
ticket,
incredible.
he was over the moon about it, because again, obviously he would have been if it was RA Chiclets, but I think just the fact that it was my name that popped up and his last name, he was psyched about it, as was I. So yeah, nobody did anything wrong. It wasn't like slighting Chiclets or anything like that. They wouldn't let Wish use Rare Admiral. They wouldn't let me use my wrestling name, my fake name. That's why he was Brian McGonigal. So yeah, I know obviously I'm with Chiclets, but and Frank gave me credit, Darren Draga, and Elliot retweeted. So yeah, it's nice when the big guys give you some love for it too.
Good job, RA. You're buzzing.
Thanks, boys. Like I told you guys years ago, man, the thrill for you guys playing pro hockey is scoring a goal. And when you're an English major journalism nerd, it's getting a scoop and getting a scoop.
Come on,
like that.
That's your high. That's your dopamine hit.
100%. Dude, look, Kevin Weeks. Kevin was a goalie, so he didn't score goals much, but he same way. I think he got that same juice, like that same adrenaline rush when you break stories, man. If you got a knack for it, yeah, it's a great thing. So yeah, thanks for the kind words, guys. And Keith, he signed a 4-year deal. He was at Toronto 5 seasons, made the playoffs all 5 of them. He only got out of the first round once. He'll be the Devils' 5th coach.
You're frozen, buddy.
Yeah,
really?
your face is frozen.
Your face is frozen. It's okay. It's okay.
No.
You crushed it. You got the scoop. You're frozen.
Oh, there he is.
we
He's
go.
back.
He's
Yeah,
back.
Witty Wi-Fi.
I think my time, I got to reset. You know when your screensaver kicks on sometimes too soon?
Nope.
Well, yeah. Anyways, he signed a 4-year deal. He was in Toronto 5 seasons, made the playoffs all 5 seasons. He got out of the first round just once. He'll be the Devils' 5th coach since 2019 and their 3rd coach since March. I think he'll be there for a while.
I love this hire.
I
Just sent over a quote. He said, after 5 years and 6 playoff rounds, I'm a far better coach than when I arrived in the NHL. So, yeah, I think it's a good hire. Biz, as the Leafs guy, what's your take on it? And should New Jersey fans be happy?
I said I think he was collateral damage to this year. I think that maybe the criticism would be he wasn't hard enough on those guys and to mold them into like especially the core guys, aside from Tavares, because he's like a veteran. But like the guys like Marner, right? Because obviously the only move they've done is went out and got Berube, a guy who knows what it takes to win, and play a little bit harder and get guys to buy in come playoff time. But I mean, I still think he's a great coach. I think he's going to learn from that, and he's going to bring it to another organization who has a lot of young core players, and he would have learned from those mistakes and just flourish and continue to learn and grow as a coach and be good. I think it's probably the best hire of any other coach, outside of Berube, that we've seen so far this offseason. Like, I like it better than the Travis Green hire. No offense to any of these guys anywhere. I think it's a really good fit based on learning from experience in Toronto and then now getting to bring it to another team who's probably going to be receptive to young, fresh ideas. I don't think that Lindy Ruff was the answer, nor do I think he's the answer in Buffalo. So that's pretty much all I got to say about that. Did you have much to say on it, Whit? Because I just got a juicy text about this Pussygate.
Yeah,
I can't.
Give it to me.
Do you want to talk more about Keith first or no?
No, I think it's a good hire. I think being with a lot of younger, great players already helps him. And I also think that if I could have had any job in the NHL that was open as a head coach, I would have wanted jerseys. I think they have the brightest future. And now you get to go in there with way less pressure, way less media, and you just get to do your thing without being in the bubble of Toronto with a team that has a crazy, positive outlook in the next 5-6 years. I love the hire, and I'm happy for him.
I love that.
And Biz, Toronto is off the hook.
What's up, fellas?
I gotta see this fucking guy's face as if my day wasn't going bad enough.
I just wanted to give my perspective from the Devil side of things.
We never asked. We never asked.
In my head, I was actually I wonder if Posh was on, and sure as shit, we
What's going on at the Arbutus Club? Is everybody still fucking, or is that done because they got beat out?
It's still the talk of the town, Biz. It's still the talk of the town.
Clean off that stick shift, will you?
Oh, yeah.
So I know that they were trying to deny it, but were people actually fucking at level 3 parking?
It's 1,000% confirmed. I've heard from so many members, it was 3 couples. Apparently, they've all been suspended for a year. I heard that actually the person that ratted them out also got suspended for some reason.
Was it an OHL player?
It was probably the kid from Saginaw.
I agree. You got to make the narc pay too. But
hey, you look pretty happy for a guy that's watching his hated rival, the New York Rangers, walking through the Eastern Conference Final.
If there's one guy who hates,
that's another reason they're going to win, because it's the shittiest year of Pasha's life.
Oh yeah, the mush man.
Pasha's glowing.
Because Pasha's on a heater
Pash.
right now. Pasha's on an absolute heater with the ladies.
Text me, and we don't. Private lives can stay private, but his last text to me. I don't know if it was on text or on Instagram. Oh shit, I can't find it.
Are you allowed to talk about that stuff, Pasha?
He's like, I have so much to tell you. I've had an amazing week.
You got sucked off in a bathroom in a bar the other night.
Jesus Christ, Biz.
Yeah, he did.
Right.
You're the best.
Anyways,
You're the best, fellows.
The best, fellows.
Let's
go. Oh yeah, we're live. Shit, we can't cut that out.
Gone off the rails here.
What was his name?
Let's go back to talking hockey here. Jesus Christ, Biz. But I think it's a great hire. First of all, Whit,
speaking of sucking donkey dick, let's talk about your New Jersey Devils.
It's always nice to hear you speak positively of the Devils, Whit. It's very rare, but I agree. It's by far the most attractive destination to go coach. And I like the hire too. You can't really put the blame on Keefe for the lack of success in Toronto. All these years, they haven't had a goalie. They have one D-man that can move the puck in Riley, and there's no forward depth. Like, it's a flawed roster. So I think with the Devils, obviously they still have a lot of roster work to do. They need a goalie that's non-negotiable. They need another D-man. You know, they need a little bit of depth. So Fitzy's got his work cut out for him. But Keefe's coaching style, I think, complements the Devils so well. You saw what he got out of the big dogs, Matthews, Nylander, Marner offensively. I know Marner's was only in the regular season, but I think he complements the roster super well. And I'm excited to see him rattle off a couple cups with the Devils here in the next 10 years.
Oh, my boy. Couple cups.
Oh, God.
I think the Leafs win one before the Devils.
No chance.
I'll take that action.
I'll
take that action.
What side do you want? What side do you want?
I want the Devils.
First of all,
thank you.
Are you going to have to pay up on your bet?
Yeah, you have to get a tattoo.
Yeah.
I'll do that when you cut your foreskin off.
Oh my God! All of our bets are just not.
That's the only one I've never followed through, and it was because the doctor told me not to, because it could lead to a lot of problems, including like a staph infection and disease.
Yeah.
And
My doctor told me don't get a tat on your ass.
Next thing you know, I'll have a little nub there.
You already got a little nubby. Your foreskin makes it look long.
You ever heard of lead poisoning, Biz? My doctor told me don't get a tattoo in your ass because of lead poisoning. So.
Oh, okay. So all right. We should have to do a punishment. Anyway, okay. So now, before we move on, I don't want to forget this. So this is the text I got about Pussygate. Have you heard about
Thanks
this?
for having me, boys.
Well, no. Do you want to? Oh, he doesn't want to stick around. All right.
No, he's probably involved in Pussygate somehow.
Pussygate. What do we got? Biz?
So, hey, buddy, listening now, confidentially.
As he reads it.
No. I said to him, I said, can I read it?
Okay.
But not say who it's from. I texted. Hache only got traded to Saginaw this season. His dad, Conrad, is still the director of officiating. He just stepped down back for the playoffs this year. He also played in Kingston and Barrie. Whatever team he's on is always the least penalized team in the league. It's a sore point with a lot of teams. You didn't hear it from me.
Wow.
So this is what I'm saying. This is why I don't like obviously I'm loyal to the soil, but I'm not gonna like how do you say
You're an honest journalist.
I'm an honest journalist. I'm trying to learn from RA here, right? He's the journal and he's passing down his knowledge. So this game, I don't know how you stream it. Gee, if you could maybe Google how you watch this game.
Is it on NHL Network in the States? I think it is.
It's probably streaming. If not that, it should be streaming somewhere, I would imagine.
So we have the Saginaw Spirit and the London Knights final game of the Memorial Cup in the regular round to get a free bye to the finals. These fucking guys need to fight each other at center ice to solve this.
NHL Network. Americans can watch it on NHL Network.
Do they not?
They're
one calling each other liars publicly. This is fucking crazy.
Yeah, I mean, is it sour grapes?
5-game suspension. 5 games.
Yeah. If the original report's true, it's upsetting that Saginaw has fought back on it. But I feel like they wouldn't be reaching out as an organization if they were like they wouldn't be lying, going double down style. So I don't know what to believe.
I'm gonna send you the video. And we could keep talking about other stuff, but I want you to watch it.
All right, send it over. Biz, I knew you had asked before. Toronto is off the hook for the last 2 years of Keefe's extension. He had signed that extension last year, so basically Toronto is off the hook now that he signed a new deal.
Pass the hat around.
Pass the hat. Well, they don't need any money
Yeah.
now. They're good.
Interestingly, it's funny. I know Maurice, he actually coached Trouba his 5.5 of his first 6 years in the league. I'm not sure if people realized that when he was making the joke there. About passing the hat. That was fucking 7-8 years ago. It was a while ago when he played for him. But that's not it for coaching news. The LA Kings will be removing the interim tag from Jim Hiller. Named him the 30th head coach in franchise history. Signed for 3 years with an option for a 4th. He went 21-12-1. The Kings went 21-12-1 under Hiller after he relieved Todd McClellan. He looks like double Dion, huh, Biz? The dude Hiller. He looks like an older version of Dion Phaneuf.
A little bit, yeah. I don't really know what to make of this. I mean, I guess like after they interviewed the guys probably liked him and they figured, hey, like maybe we don't have a good enough candidate to go out and get. Maybe it was a situation, boys, where they're like, hey, we're not paying for how many more years did McClellan have on his deal? Because some of these teams, they don't want to pay coaches who aren't coaching for them, so they don't have the budget. When you get like a team like Toronto, although they've been let off the hook now, they could have fucking 4 coaches on salaries. They don't give a fuck. They got $1 billion in the bank. Like they're backed by so much money. So I would imagine he's not making a ton of money either. But yeah, I mean, I wish him all the success. I mean, I guess they were outmatched come playoff time. Like they couldn't figure out their PK, which has killed them the last 2 years. Like, what did he do to maybe earn that spot? And as to why this group, who's kind of on their last legs, where like Doughty and Kopitar can't play to this level for much longer. And once those 2 guys are gone, Dubois is not the answer, because he was just as bad at the World Championships. So if you're trying to win now, I don't know if maybe that's the answer. So that's
they got to change like their style of play, like that sitting back. I don't think the guys love doing it, and I would guess that part of the interview process is like, hey, do you have a different idea of how this team can play a little faster?
Fair.
And maybe he said, yeah. And he had just taken over McClellan's system there, so they stuck with it. Maybe now going into camp, they bring in an entire new way to approach their games and how they're going to play.
Fucking rocket. Didn't Knobloch introduce a new system and change it up?
I think, yeah, a little bit. Well, they were like stuck in between with Woodcroft, but then I think Paul Coffey's had a ton to do with the D in Edmonton. I don't think it was just Knobloch changing that entire team around. And they also might have switched it all around had Woodcroft even stayed, like that roster. But
sure,
I was kind of surprised at this, but I didn't even think about what you said in terms of not having to pay like another contract with another coach.
Sometimes that's the reason.
Yeah.
They're so fed up, the owners.
All right, boys, before we get to the last couple hires here, we do have a word from one of our sponsors. All right, before we go any further, here's a few words from our friends at Labatt. Hey, gang, lots of things are better together. Hockey, of course. Food, always nice to share some food with family, friends. Golf, not always fun to play solo. That's why it's good to get together with some folks. But if you really want to take things to the next level, drink some Labatt Blue Lights with your friends and live life to the power of we. That's what we like to do here on the Chiclet Show. If we're doing a live stream or just hanging out watching the playoff games, we take a page out of the Labatt Blue Light book and enjoy our beers together so we can live life to the power of we. You can find Labatt Blue Light at labattusa.com/finder.
Just saw the video. The kid's the captain of Saginaw too, huh?
Yeah. So what? So when
he kind of like he does this and then even
he talks
he said
to the
something to the ref.
He said something to the ref. Why would you be saying something to the ref? And right, so it doesn't look good for him. I would love to get them on the podcast. Like we got to get them on the pod. I want to hear it from the butcher's mouth. But they asked if I would talk, and I had so much shit going on. I'm like, no, I'll handle it after. But I want to see how this whole Memorial Cup plays out, and then we'll get to the bottom of it. But great little antics coming in.
We'll turn Chiclets into Jerry Springer over here.
Jerry. That's what the people want. They want the drama, baby.
All right, a couple more coaching hires as well. The Winnipeg Jets replaced the retiring Rick Bowness with his assistant, Scott Arniel. When Bowness had to take some absences the last couple of years for family and health reasons, Arniel posted a 15-7-3 record in that interim role over those 25 games in the last 2 seasons. Our pal Mike Commodore, as you may have surmised,
he loved this hire.
Not a huge fan of the hire. His tweet, massive mistake by the Jets. Scott Arniel is a loser. He's been a loser his entire career. Got a chance years ago. His arrogance ruined everything. He spent the last 14 years with his nose up assholes and his lips wrapped around balls. #loser. Again, that's friend Mike Commodore's tweet. Not necessarily our views. Have you guys heard anything maybe contradictory about his coaching style throughout the league? Or
I don't feel so bad the way I broke down the Hiller hiring. This is
was not a fan.
He wasn't holding back punches now, was he?
I don't know anything about Scott Arniel.
Me neither.
I just know that they played great when Bowness wasn't behind the bench with him there. They gave up the least amount of goals per game in the entire NHL, and he had a big part of that coaching job this season. So I think that kind of makes sense. I mean, he's been there. He knows the guys. It's a lot tougher than you think. And same thing with Hiller in LA of becoming the nice guy assistant and then becoming the head coach. It's just a different relationship with every player. So having been a head coach, I think that Winnipeg looks at it like we know what this guy brings. We know how he does things behind the bench. We're comfortable. Even though our playoff was a complete failure, our regular season was great, and he was there for a big part of it. So it kind of made sense to me. But I don't know the guy.
Ditto. I don't know him either. I just thought it was funny when Comey goes on there and he doesn't hold back.
Would you call it a safe hire, Biz, perhaps?
Okay, so like I don't want to offend people from Winnipeg, but I don't think it's like the easiest thing to get free agents there, including like great coaches who like big markets can pay a shit ton of money. It goes back to like how much money do you think that Winnipeg has to spend on a coach? Like I bet you Bonus was making probably maybe 2.5, probably under. If you want to get a top tier coach now, you have to spend $4 or $5 million a year. And like Whit said, whoa, what the fuck are you looking like that for?
Guys, I have someone real quick. We got to let him in here. The Baron of Boston, the Prince of Prague, IIHF world champion, David Pastrnak.
Yeah. There he is. Oh, love it.
What a celebration.
What a celebration.
What's up, boys? I'm going to have to brush up my English, boys.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, join the club. We do too.
How sick was that atmosphere in the game, the party after that rink? Even when Canada was playing whatever the bronze medal game, all the Czech flags everywhere. What an experience, huh?
Boys, this was insane. Honestly, like the fans, you could see the whole country was living, of this tournament, and overall the whole 3 weeks they were making the hockey really enjoyable for the whole country. And yesterday, honestly, it was, one of my better days to see and bring all these people to the old square. And it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I needed it, so it was fun.
Pasta, like very few Czech guys have had the ability to like win at home like that and celebrate with the home crowd. Like how many people were there? And like I saw you even after the game, I think you were embracing Jaromir Jagr. Like what does this mean for Czech hockey?
Dude, it's huge. I overall we were waiting for so long for the gold medal, and it couldn't come at better time, honestly, like at home playing in front of the fans. And when I came here, like the group of guys we had, it's very easy to be hit and miss, when you come to this world championship for the group of guys, and especially for a couple guys coming late from NHL, like a lot, you have to kick somebody out. And oh my God, we had I think we were the first team who had black aces for the whole tournament, and we had like 7 of them. But because it was in Czech, they all stayed and were black aces.
Yeah,
we had one guy, we called him a captain of the black aces, so he got up to gold ace. He was the gold ace. But he haven't played the whole tournament, boys. And then he got the call up for the final.
No way. He got to play in the final game. That's fucking awesome, dude.
They couldn't practice, with us. They couldn't skate or anything. So they were just pretty much, for a week
drinking,
sitting on a couch and just trying to bring the atmosphere. But he got called up, boys, and he did an unbelievable job. And, we obviously shut them down. So that was fun. But overall, it means a lot because, gold, how I said, Czech waited a lot of years for this, and the country needed it. And we enjoying every second of it. The party was crazy yesterday. And I think we have one more day in front of us.
Yeah, you look like Nail Yakupov on your knees there celebrating.
I love that celebration.
I swear to God, I told myself I will never, ever celebrate on my knees. Exactly because of that moment. And I didn't even know there was so many emotions that possibly could be brought up of me to go down on my knees. But you know what? It was crazy. I obviously, the system I had to play with, with our coach, it was like the number that was like very hard for us to come so late in the tournament, right? So you just focus on the system, and then obviously I wasn't producing, and I didn't really care we were winning, but yeah, a lot of emotions. I can't believe I got down on my knees in the celebration. But I'm happy I did because it felt good.
Well, it was a typical pasta rocket one-timer. I love the celebration, but you were kind of open about when they announced this four nations tournament next year. Like, what about Czechia? And now with the youth program and the World Junior success and like what you guys have done, it's got to be like, fuck, why aren't we in the mix, right?
We definitely feel like it, especially after the tournament that Finland had, and we know they didn't have the best team here, but it's hard. I just felt like I have to poke a little bit,
Yeah.
I had to poke at it, but I understand the circumstances and the stuff that, it's just a quick tournament. They had much time to plan and everything, but I just couldn't let it be without a little poke, after winning it. And honestly, it's very arguable. Yes, the four nation, it is, it might be paper-wise, it's the best countries of hockey, right? Especially when you take Russia out of there. But I didn't mean it in the wrong way. I just wanted to take a little poke at it, and obviously we wish we were there, and also for like Czech hockey, it would be amazing to bring another step and play in this tournament. But you know what? It's okay, and I just had to poke at it.
We'll go. I want to go back to the team after this question. I don't want to come off as insulting. Would you guys be up for maybe like combining teams if they continue to do maybe this type of Nations Cup or whatever? Would you be okay teaming up with other teams from Europe?
I think what would be kind of cool is like Czech and Slovakia used to be Czechoslovakia, same country, right? Back in the day. And I think it would be kind of cool if we brought it back for some tournament, because Czechoslovakia, we could have put a good team together. And, we used to be the same country. Now we are neighbors. It's obviously, unless you play against each other, you kind of cheer on each other, right? I don't mind Slovaks. I like you speak the same language. It's very similar. So I think that would be kind of a good idea. And I think we could have put a really good team together.
So a way to bond the countries. Now, when they separated, was it for any like for war? Was there tension, or was it just both?
No, I think both countries was it was nothing in the bad. So we separated in a on a good note, and obviously I never get into politics, but it's too bad for the sports, because how I said, I think it would be an interesting team, and we could have put a really good team together. But so yeah, I wouldn't mind teaming up, especially with those guys. But if there would be like tournament like it was back in the day with the World Cup, was the Team Europe and stuff, that would be also interesting. But I think this would be a little better.
What's
go ahead.
What's the Pilsner you're sipping on there? What's your favorite Czech Pilsner, Posh? I mean, pasta.
Boy, this is delicious here.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
That makes me want to have a beer right after
that. It's
that.
better than that. What's the big deal beer or whatever?
Yeah, Big Deal Brewing. Yeah. Well, it's coming back. It's coming back. We're figuring things out.
Is it Pilsner or Kelba or Budva? What kind of beer is that?
It's Pilsner Urquell, yes.
Okay, nice. Hey, how about your goalie, man? Lucas Dostal, back-to-back shutouts to win the tournament. He should be the starter maybe next year in Anaheim if they trade Gibson, huh?
Boys, I like, obviously he's in the West, and we played Anaheim twice, and Gibby played both games, but so I honestly had no idea how good he is. It's unbelievable, and if you have a goalie in the playoffs who out of 3 games he has 2 shutouts, I mean, if you don't win, I don't know what to do. He was so good, and the warm-up he was doing, the preparation, like obviously I'm getting a little older, so I'm warming up quite a bit before games, and he was there and doing deadlifts before game, and classic goalie weird stuff. But I was very surprised how good he is, and I didn't know. I didn't know him as a person before coming here, and I didn't know him as a goalie, and I must say, like, it was unbelievable to see him. But I almost freaking killed him when he tried to go for a goal in the gold medal game when it's 1-0. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm on the bench there.
That's what the analytics tell you.
Dude, I was like, you almost gave me heart attack. Like, you kidding me? You pass it right in the slot to Fiala. Like, come on.
Oh man, that is fucking crazy. That is crazy.
Shit. What song was that you were singing when you were up on stage? Or was that like a call and response?
That was such a cool moment with your wife and your kid when you were dancing and having a good time, man. That must have been the pinnacle of life right there.
Dude, that was actually outstanding. I'm glad, you know, you have all these videos and stuff these days that you can see this amazing moment and relive it, especially when you are a little tipsy, you know, you don't recognize it. So it was definitely so cool to see it this morning. And overall, the chants, you know, I love chanting, as you guys know. I always go to the, you know, soccer games and chanting. So it was fun to let the whole old square in Prague sing. And you know, we are world champions. And, you know, it felt good. Yeah, man. How I said, I needed it. It gas me up a lot. So I'm very happy.
Is it like you hear about guys who go to the world championships and they get to have a fun time throughout the tournament? Was that kind of like you guys? Like, were you going out the whole time where you got to embrace like the city or were you guys pretty focused and dialed in and made sure you had curfew and just focused on winning?
We had a team room at the hotel where we all hang out every day, but you couldn't go outside here for us, you know, it's crazy. So how I said, the friends were living it here big time. Like, you couldn't even get out of the hotel. So we were really locked down for the whole tournament. I mean, for the time I was here, like, I didn't go out once besides going to the arena. I went home, obviously, a quick one when my family came, but so all the boys kind of locked it down, and you know, we were gonna try to win it and enjoy it after. So it was lockdown. We had our own space to hang out together, which is always the best. And you know, you just chilling and watch the other games. And if you stay up a little late, you watch a little play of hockey too, and listening to this. So that was fun.
Oh, sorry about that, buddy.
No, it was all good. Boys,
it's similar to like soccer in Europe too, where if you guys are out, it's gonna be in the newspaper and stuff. Like, they're just following the players everywhere they go, right?
Yeah, you get paparazzis here. Obviously, Czech is a small country, so we don't have many famous people, right? So they are all hunting for the sports guys, you know. And when you go out, you see them. So I had a great one yesterday. I always try to smile on them when I was going home. Yeah, it was fun. It was like about 4 cameras, but yeah, I was a small country. They are not used to for famous people, so they are hunting the athletes.
Who's the most famous person there? Like, who would be, like, would we know them? Would Yager be the most famous person in the country?
I actually or the most famous person in the country. So that's a tough one. It depends. We have so many actors, Czech actors or singers that are famous in Czech, but you know, not worldwide. Yags is famous worldwide, but he's probably still the most famous guy. Probably. I don't know his life. I never see him outside, or if he gets bothered, I just know, like, it's crazy. I cannot go anywhere. So, like, if Yags have that, he must, like, go crazy.
That's crazy. But you can't go anywhere, Pasta. Like, even when the tournament isn't going on, like, you're getting paparazzi'd.
No, it's not the people. Yeah, people. You know, like, it makes big difference because you are never here, right? You are here for 1 month, and then, like, in Boston, they see you every day. For example, they're in America, you're in a bigger country, they're used to seeing you, but once you come here, they're like, oh my God, we have to, like, don't miss those opportunities. So it gets very crazy. Yeah, it's the big difference was since I won the bronze medal in Tampere, that was the biggest jump. Like, I wasn't prepared for it in my head. It was crazy. So last couple of years, I already know that if I come here, like, I have to prepare with my head. So
you know what I needed to fucking prepare in my head was you fucking ruining my Leafs season, buddy. The fuck was that?
Buddy, I didn't see you do those 10 push-ups on the. I saw your bed.
I'll do them right now. I'll do them right now.
You were supposed to do 10 push-ups on the live stream with I don't know who you had the bed with, but never seen you do them. So let's go.
This podcast has a tough thing with living through bets and actually like losing your
Pasta.
bet.
There was a clip of Yaga walking around Czech the other day, and like it was like the Pied Piper. He was absolutely swarmed. Like I couldn't believe he was out in public.
Yags is hunting followers now and doing documentaries. So he just has this media guy. They're filming and that's like good stuff. There you go.
Count him out. 1.
He's not going all the way down.
He's practicing for Raya later.
He's doing the tricep.
This is what he does before he takes selfies of his pecs and stuff too. This is how he does things.
Pasta.
How about Yags? Yags made a video. He said that, like, obviously, how I said I didn't produce the whole tournament, and then he called it out that that boy Biss, take the breather now. He called out that he said he's gonna break it through in the finals and have a game-winning goal. So
he said that.
He has it on he posted on Instagram even before finals, and I remember because they asked me, did you see the video, like the reel? And I was like, I saw it, but I was like, buddy, there's no way I'm gonna get the game-winning goal. Like I'm just trying to survive.
Oh shit! Hey, Pasta, producer Granelli wanted to jump in. He had a question for you. Gee, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, winning with your teammate Pavel Zacha must be awesome. You mentioned at the end of the year that you're going to put your recruiting hat on this summer. Have you done any recruiting in Prague? Have you talked to Martin Nakis? I think he'd look awesome in a Bruins jersey. Where do we stand on the recruiting front?
I heard Patrick Kane's name come up.
Draisaitl? Give us Draisaitl.
I heard Tyler Bertuzzi.
Fuck, I would love Draisaitl.
Fuck off, you guys.
That's tampering. That's tampering. No. Hey, who else was the other name that popped up too? Tyler Bertuzzi reunion, maybe?
Brett Pesci. We're throwing them all out there.
Hey,
stop
yeah,
you went to the league.
Oh, you don't want him back there? You don't want the sloppy seconds, eh? Stay there.
Are you kidding me? He went to the Leafs.
Yeah.
No, the baby pop. Yeah, I mean, we will see. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know, mate. I don't know. Like you got me into the tight squeeze right now. I would answer, but
we'll change the subject.
I'm gonna put on a recruiting hat on, but I said already for the Boston Bruins original 6, it should be enough for you to want to play here. And obviously, would I love people to come and wanting to play with me? Yes, of course. But how I said, at the end of the day, if you don't want to come to the Bruins, like you have to want to come there for the organization and be prepared to obviously learn and follow the rules there and we'll see. I think it's gonna be interesting summer.
Fucking rights. Love that.
Pasta Wotherspoon, he shared a video. A bunch of the guys were on a charter plane. Obviously, you were playing over the Worlds, and Carlo, he threw some. I don't know, it was a dice. What was that game? Have you ever played that game? Do you know what it was? He threw something down the airplane, and it landed in like a cup at the bottom of like the airplane at the end of the airplane. Did you see the video?
The boys were in the plane. I don't know. It looked like maybe it was. I don't even want to say it, but what if it was rolling like crazy? So maybe it was during a takeoff. I don't know.
Oh yeah, they were definitely airborne because it went like basically downhill.
Yeah,
here it is.
There it is. I can't believe Brando made it, honestly.
That was a chartered flight.
That was them cheering for your goal, dude.
Dude, that was awesome because I was obviously so jet lagged. I had to mute that conversation because there's so many texts coming in that group chat, and I woke up that morning. I remember I had like 45 messages in that group, and I was scrolling through it, and it was awesome to see. But honestly, I have never played a game, no. But
okay.
looked like fun.
Hey, Pasta, we got to bring up the chat's going nuts about I gave you so much credit when you fought Matt Tkachuk, and the only fights I ever got into were out of scrums where I didn't have to like think about it. Like, what was your adrenaline like when you told Monty, like, I'm fighting him, and he's kind of like, all right, here we go. You were that fired up and ready to go, huh?
Yeah, like, you know how it like, I felt like, he was barking. I felt like if I won't fight him, it's going to juice up them, or I will give them something to, you know what I mean? Like,
yep,
to bark about it. And he was saying the whole time, I was like, let's do it at home next game, first shift. And he said, no, let's do it right. No, first he said yes. Then he came back to the bench and he's like, no, we're doing it right now. I was like, it's 6-2 hockey game. Like, let's do it next shift, first game. We both, both players, like, that's a trade you want to take, right? Like I take him, he take me out of the game for 5 minutes. And he goes like, no, let's do it right now. So I'm like, so I mean, like I was fine with going because I felt like it's gonna help more me going him than not going him, because then like you would listen to it for the rest of the series, right? So that's how I felt, and then like I was gonna jump, I was gonna go so like aggressive, but then I remember as I'm jumping over the board, DeBrus goes, be careful, he's gonna come in hot, and then I'm jumping on like I'm about to have my second fight, and you saying that to me, so I was like, oh my god, he's gonna come fast at me. So I was like, am I supposed to? So I was gonna wait for the first punch, and I was gonna dodge it, which I did. But man, I had no idea how hard it is to keep the balance on,
Yeah.
It's crazy because once I dodged the first punch, I was off the balance, and it's too bad. But honestly, I'm happy I did it. I think it was a good juice up, they were just so much deeper, so much better than us, unfortunately, and they were better than us,
And also like sitting on it for 2 days till you have to do it off the draw. Although I think the roof might have came off the garden if he would have fought Kachuk.
But that's what Frederick said the same thing. He said like, good you did it today, because now you would be thinking about, like you said, for 2 days, and that wouldn't be good for you. I was like, but you know what? You're probably right. That would not be good for me.
So one thing you did have to sit on, unless you didn't see the quotes, was after Game 6. Monty was like, yeah, we need more from Pasta. And then obviously you had that huge moment in Game 7 with the OT winner. Like, did you guys have a chuckle after? Did you go up to him like before the game and say, I know I need to be better, I got one tonight? Like, how did that conversation take place after you heard it?
Well, as soon as he said it to the media, he went to me before he told me like, before you see it on the internet, I wanted to tell you that I went hard on you in the media.
Wow.
And I said that in the interview because I said I appreciate it, but like, you know what, like I don't care. Like I said it in the media. I was like, I would do the same. Obviously, it wasn't my series, like I wasn't producing enough, but I told him like, listen, like we were winning, we were scoring goals, we had power play goals, without me, like I'd be better. I would be better. Maybe next series would be my series, and he understood it, and he appreciated it. Same like as a player, you appreciate him coming to you before, you see it on media to tell you that he talks shit about you before you see it on your own. So I appreciate the talk. I have a good relationship with him. He can always be honest with me. So the opposite way. So sometimes they help the player, sometimes it doesn't. So that's how it went.
What's up for tonight? What's up for tonight, Pasta?
Well, I'm running I'm about 1 sip away of finishing beer, so I'm gonna end you guys soon. But we just got to the pub. Today's kind of day was a little free, but we have a meeting 30 minutes ago. The team met up here, so it's kind of like last day. We have a dinner in the pub and take the dancing shoes for one more night, and we'll see. Hopefully it'll be a lot of fun. And how I said, it's amazing the country is still living with it. Busy. I don't even know what day is it today, honestly. And
RA's going to be over there in about 6 hours after this.
I know. Yeah, I know RA and G are the hardcore Bruins fan, but just from like a hockey guy perspective, like you're such an incredible ambassador for our game, and like the way that you came up and all the adversity you dealt with as a kid. You had to move to Sweden to play, move overseas, and eventually become the player that you are now. And obviously all the success you've had in the NHL, and then still keep an amazing level head. And congrats on everything, buddy. And the fact that you get to bring a championship home to your home country, there's not a more deserving guy, buddy. So congrats on all your success. And we're so grateful that you gave us the time here today to come share it with all the hockey fans as well, buddy. You're a G.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pasta.
Wow, what a words, beast. Thank you guys so much. Obviously, you guys are first guys that I do something. I appreciate you guys. Hey, you guys doing a hell of a job with the hockey and keep it going. So thanks for having me. Always fun, and see you guys. Cheers.
Yeah, hopefully
awesome.
See you around the summer,
we'll see you on the Amazon series too, buddy. That's going to be amazing.
That'd be fun. Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
All right, bud. Take care. Oh, that was fantastic. G. I mean, like full round of
Great
snaps
work,
to G.
G.
Pulling
was
pasta
awesome. Great.
out of
Hell of a
nowhere like
job,
that.
G. Hell of a job.
Awesome stuff. All right, boys, I need
Thanks, boys.
I need a minute to myself here. I think G might too. So let's send it over to another ad. All right, before we go any further, here's a few words from our friends at Verizon. With Verizon's fast, reliable network, you can stream playoff games on the go or at home and keep up with all the action. So Verizon has you covered whether you're working late nights like we do, maybe after a stream, maybe you're putting the outline for your show together, maybe you're a bartender, who knows, you got a late night. Either way, whatever you work, whatever hours, you can always catch all the action thanks to Verizon. And right now, it's red hot deal days at Verizon. Their biggest deals of the season on phones, tablets, smartwatches, and more, so you can catch the Stanley Cup games whenever and wherever you want. It's only until May 29th, so head to verizon.com/Barstool to get it while it's hot. Wow, awesome stuff, G. I can't believe we just got pasta from Chuck. That was dynamite
Just a
stuff.
full-time bender right now, just living it up, winning in your home country, streets going nuts. Good for him.
Absolute beauty. Absolute fucking beauty, that one. Dan Bylsma, your old coach, Whit. He's going to be back in the NHL. He's going to be the second.
For one game. For one game, he was my coach.
Oh, that's it? No show.
Yeah, because Terrian got fired. He got hired. He coached us in Long Island. I think we lost in overtime. Then I went home. My mom was sick, getting surgery, and I got traded while I was home. So I was just there for legit 12 hours with him as a coach. But he went in there. He won the Stanley Cup. He then won the Jack Adams with the Penguins in 2011. I think let go in 2014. Had a chance with Buffalo. And it's been very surprising. It's taken him this long. He coached Team USA in the Sochi Olympics. I don't know. I don't really know what happened because a guy with that resume being younger, I don't know if he'd pissed some people off or how he did things, had gotten rumors around in terms of what type of coach he was. But it is surprising that it took this long for him to get another chance. But what does he do? He goes to the AHL. He's had a great team, and it's Coachella Valley, I believe, right?
Yep.
They lost a Game 7 overtime last year. Are they still playing right now or probably not?
No, they're about to start the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, so this guy, he's kind of maybe reinvented himself a little bit. I don't know any of the maybe negativities that surrounded his name when all these coaching vacancies were opening up and he was getting overpassed. I don't really know the backstory to that, but it seems like a guy who probably deserved another chance in the NHL. And Seattle gets to get the guy who's been with their prospects, with their AHL players. So similar to Pittsburgh, he's kind of coming up with a group that he'll have a bunch of guys who played for him in the minors playing for him in the NHL. He's been around that team since they became an NHL club, and he knows how Ron Francis does things. And I think this one makes total sense.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. So, I don't know what the story was in Pittsburgh and Buffalo.
There had to be something, though.
Yeah, it was just kind of, maybe some negativity. But once again, a young coach who had a ton of success early, and you know what, you learn from it. You grow, you move on. And like you said, he went to the AHL. Now he's having a ton of success there. He knows these younger players. Kind of reminds me of like a Bruce Boudreau situation when he was with the Hershey Bears, right? A players type coach, and then all of a sudden you end up getting bumped up, and a lot of those players end up filtering up and make to what to eventually is a sustainable winning team. So I wish him all the best. I heard rumblings that they were trying to get Rob Brindamore and he could reconnect with Francis. I don't know how much truth there is to that rumor, but ultimately there's zero.
No, because Brindamore re-upped in Carolina.
No,
yeah, but he's saying they could have been somewhat talking.
Yeah, he could have been no problem. He could have been using those conversations as leverage to be able to get his number up. And hey, that happens, man. It's a greasy world out there. But I'm excited to see how this hire turns out.
And there's many times where you see an AHL team go on a couple runs. I mean, this is 2 deep runs in a row. And then it makes sense. Like, the guy has been a part of this organization. And not to mention, it could work out if he hadn't coached in the NHL before. All right, let's give our AHL coach a chance. No, you got an actual former Cup winner, Olympic coach, Jack Adams winner. So this one was probably the biggest no-brainer out there.
Yeah, like you said, with just 7 years, it did seem like an unusually long time for a guy, especially with his coaching degree. And shout out to Chris Driedger, too. Driedger's has been killing it for Coachella Valley. He's been, goaltender the last 2 years there, 921 save percentage, leading them to the Western Conference Finals once again. He does have a documentary we're going to talk about a little later about. Remember the old pro hockey, the roller hockey out in California?
Yeah,
in Vegas,
the
back in the
PBR
90s.
tour or something?
Yeah.
I played roller hockey. They had the V skates.
Yeah, pro ball hockey, though. They're actually two separate leagues. Yeah, he's doing a documentary about it. I'm gonna get a screener soon. I'll get it over to you guys. Take a look at it. Obviously, after the playoffs, we'll dive deeper into that. Currently, San Jose, the only team currently without a coach in the NHL. Carolina Hurricanes general manager Don Waddell, he stepped down from his position after 10 years, sort of abruptly. Eric Tulsky was named interim GM, and the search is on for a full-time replacement.
Mugshot. Have you seen this guy's mugshot?
Yeah. Looks like Mason Lowry.
I was reading online. He has a PhD and he has 26 patents.
In rocket Scientology.
Oh, he must be loaded, man.
He has a degree in rocket Scientology, and then he started blogging in hockey, and all of a sudden he's a GM of an NHL hockey team. So I love it. I love
they've given him the job yet.
Oh, they haven't given it to him?
No,
he's just interim.
Yeah, he's interim, and they said the search is on for a full-time replacement. So I think he's,
I think you just keep him based on the mugshot.
Just on that salad alone. But back to Don Waddell, he didn't sit idle for long at all. On Monday, it was reported that later this week he'll be named both GM and president of hockey ops with the Columbus Blue Jackets. He's got a few things on his plate. Obviously, head coach Pascal Vincent's got 1 year left on his deal. Will he be back? GMs typically want their own coach. 30-year-old goalie Elvis Merzlikins, he's got 3 more years left at $5.4 million and a modified no trade list as a buyout or trade likely. And of course, Patrick Laine, he's only 26 still. He's got 2 more years left at 8.7. Also has a modified no trade clause. What does the team do with him? His goal scoring has declined pretty much each year. So Waddell will have a few things on his plate.
I love this hire by the Columbus Blue Jackets. There was actually rumblings that Kenny Holland might step down from Edmonton, just probably given the fucking circus surrounding that, where it's an awesome job to have because you have this incredible fan base. Right now, the expectations are not very high. You have a decent crop of young players, and now that he just got the job, he's going to have a lot of wiggle room and not a media circus. He gets to just fly under the radar just like he did in Carolina. So I don't know if Holland couldn't give them an answer or whatnot based on the rumblings.
Maybe he could still go there. Maybe he could still be a part of his squad.
Yeah. Maybe he gets more of a different type of title. But I believe that John Davidson has the president's tag, right?
He just said Waddell got it.
No, he's the team president. Waddell's team president of hockey operations. So, but yeah.
The other thing is that in Carolina, and a bunch of different people have mentioned that Tom Dundon is, I think he's kind of hard to work for. Maybe that's not the right term, but he's pretty demanding as an owner. He's very cheap, doesn't want to spend a ton of money. So now you're going to the complete opposite of that, where the Columbus owners are they're out of the picture and they just sit out on the sideline and they have more money and they're willing to maybe spend a little bit more. So I bet for Don Waddell, it's going to be pretty relaxing for what he's been dealing with. And he's also built some really good teams. I don't know how much of that was him or how much of that is it Tulsky?
Tulsky.
So it's a good hire, though. He's been around the league forever. And all of a sudden now Columbus, who does have a bright future, and Biz said, awesome fans, they got to be fired up to get a guy who thinks he can turn this thing around.
Oh, big time. Guy with a track record like that, they've been going nuts right now.
I want to bring on our producer, Mikey Grinelli. He texted me last week from New Rutherford, New Jersey, East Rutherford, New Jersey. I couldn't believe you were at the Rolling Stones concert, G. I was shocked to shit. How was it? I need your verdict here.
It's one of the most shocking things you'll ever see in your entire life. The fact that these guys at 80 years old move on stage the way they do it's just you look around and everyone is just so mind blown because the music is still Mick Jagger's voice and the way he's just wiggling up on stage. He's so good. But the fact when Keith Richards came out and played his solo song and you're like, dude, this guy looks like he's about to fall over, but then he starts playing and it's he just gets this jolt of he finds the fountain of youth. It was incredible.
I couldn't call that cocaine.
It's probably keeping them alive going out on tour. It's like when people
100%.
retire and all of a sudden they just like they're not around anymore. It's like these guys is what they're living for.
Mick Jagger's got like a full 6-pack too. Like the guy is 83 or whatever.
Are they still like,
Yeah.
Are they single? Are they married? Like, are they just like thumping roadies still?
No, Keith's been with Patty Hansen since like 1980. Mick still plays the field.
Already knows all
44 years ago.
Already knows all their spouses and how long they've been married.
I remember my
can't even
dad
get
said
him
he
to
saw
memorize
my
the
dad
outline.
saw him in the 80s, and he was like, this is probably going to be it for them. Or like the 90s. Like, this has to be it.
The first time I saw them, 1989 Steel Wheels Tour, 3 shows down at Foxborough. Actually, Big Kev got me into one of those shows. Shout out Big Kev Hayes. And back then, 35 years ago, we were like, wow, this might be the last time we get to see the Stones. This
Final tour. Get your Final Tours t-shirts.
35 years. So I'm actually, no, they're in Foxborough Thursday night here in Massachusetts. So this will be, I'm going to go, obviously, I think somewhere between 35 and 40 times I've seen him total.
That's insane. All right, I'd say my favorite song was Miss Me. I love that one. They played it super long. He was playing like the harmonica, but then at one point when they bring out the girl, she has the best voice I ever heard. She controlled the whole audience. She sounded like a Tina Turner almost. Like she just sang with so much passion, and it was incredible. I can't say enough about it.
Gimme Shelter, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. No. I don't want to sue the guy. No, yeah, because that was actually Mary Clayton was the first one on she sang on the original recording. It's kind of a dark story, but when they were making that album, like Jagger needed like basically a black chick backup singer, and he called up Mary Clayton. She had was a well-known musician. She was like 7 or 8 months pregnant. Like she went out like 2, 3 in the morning and went, and the version of Gimme Shelter you hear on the Stones album on Hot Rocks, like she leaves it all out there.
Oh yeah.
She left it out there. Well, she went home afterwards that night. She ended up having a miscarriage after fucking singing her version of that Gimme Shelter back in like 68, 69.
She went too hard in the paint.
She went so like all out for it, and she ended up having a miscarriage after that. Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Are you not supposed to sing like hardcore when you're that pregnant?
Well, I mean, you're going back fucking late 60s, Paul. I don't know. I mean, doctors back then, I don't know what they might have known about something like that.
That's
it was the promise you put in your body.
Take a right turn. Jesus.
Yeah, no, we'll make it. We'll turn it back the other way. Then Lisa Fisher, she toured with the Stones for years. I want to say she's from the early 80s up until maybe 10 years ago. She always would come out and sing Gimme Shelter with Mick. And of course, it's very erotic too, Mike, right? They're like, kind of like horny with each other, getting back to back with each other. And
like
then
you at the prom.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to have to be a little more specific there.
You at the tavern with the 28-year-olds?
I don't know what you mean.
Gimme Shelter!
So Biz, when I saw them in Vegas at the Joint, I was solo, so I wiggled up by the front of the stage bed in the show, and Lisa Fisher, who sings backup, she was dabbing her forehead with the set list and then threw it down to me. So I have like a set list with like that dabbed in Lisa Fisher's sweat.
Of course you do.
And then she left. She left a couple of years ago, and God, I'm going to kick myself in the ass. I forget her replacement's name was Sasha Allen, I believe.
Sasha Allen is the name. She's incredible.
So she's a younger girl. So a couple of years ago, Biz, I got wind that the Stones were playing a private party down at Foxborough for Robert Kraft. I mean, legit, he had like his best friends there. And I know when the Stones come to town, they always stay at the Four Seasons by the Boston Common. So I went over there to the bar. I was totally being a seeker tonight. So I totally went over the bar and just bellied up and was going to order a drink and like some apps or whatever. And Sasha G sat right next to me, and I was playing Mickey the Dunce. I was like, "Oh, how you doing? What brings you to town?" "Oh, I'm playing with a band." "Oh, anyone I've ever heard of?" She's like, "Nah, definitely not." Great poker face. Like she didn't give up her spot, no way. But if she said, "Oh, with so and so," I would have tried to glom on to them. And a few of the backup singers come in, but was totally being a secret.
Yeah, they could smell you from mile away.
Already stole her purse and then just started sniffing it.
So, anyways, yeah, I try to take that back to a little more of a pleasant story there for you, Biz. Anyway, so
no, I love it. I love it. I love when you get going on the movies and all the bands you love. Boys, is there any other hockey chatter that we need, or we forgot, or
I have one last note. My pals, Boston, the PWHL team. I don't know if you saw it the other night.
Yeah.
Game 4, they won 1-0, double overtime. Actually, Minnesota thought they got the series winner, but there was legit goaltending interference. It was blatant. There was no doubt about that. So the women ended up winning 1-0. Game 5 for all the marbles. Wednesday night, 7:00 on YouTube. I'm going to head up and go cheer my pals on. So hopefully we got a title in Boston.
Oh, the chat. Good thing with Ryan McDonough back to the Lightning. Kind of a crazy move, but as many people have said, I love it. The Lightning are like, we're not done yet. We're not. It's so crazy that they traded him to begin with, and now he's back. But that's a pretty sick move to tell your team, like, look, we still got this core. Now, who knows? I'd like to think that means they're re-signing Stamkos. Like, let's run this back.
Yeah.
We got a guy who was here, but a pretty shocking trade that came out of nowhere. I was surprised to see it at least, but that's pretty cool. You know, Tampa still believes they can get another cup, and they bring back a guy that was a big part of them.
And I mentioned it at the beginning of the show, but Will Smith just officially signed his entry-level contract with the Sharks.
Okay, it's the start.
So now you see, does Leonard leave now? Does Perreault transfer like Grinelli said one time?
He can't transfer now. The transfer portal's over. So he's coming back. He's playing with Higgins.
Well, Higgins is coming in. What a stud that kid's going to be. But that's good for BU. Will Smith's gone. Unfortunately, that probably means Celebrini's leaving. But Will Smith is no longer. What a season he had. Leads the nation in scoring as a freshman. Dominates. They just came up a little short, but good luck to him. Congratulations. It's going to be tough sledding for a couple of years, but he'll be in there ready to go when they are good again.
I'm going to go meet Wayne in the Army for a cigar, boys. And that wraps it up.
What a life.
One
fucking
last note
you
on the
lived,
Oilers,
Biz.
boys. Yeah.
Hanging with Gretzky, smoking cigars.
Don't say something negative right now.
I don't even like cigars, but he's like, want to go through? I'm like, sure, I love cigars.
No, we just want to recognize the Oilers for celebrating the 8th birthday of the late Ben Stelter. He was a good luck charm during their run to the Western Conference Finals 2 years ago. The team had a 10-game home winning streak when Ben was in the house. So very nice what they did last night. So we just wanted to acknowledge the Oilers and acknowledge Ben and his family, and of course extend our condolences again, and happy birthday to the late Ben. He was quite a character, quite a good luck charm for the Oilers. So boys, a hell of a show, a great live show. Hopefully everybody out there enjoyed it. Go Celts, you're in the finals, and RIP to Bill Walton, the 86 championship team. Any final notes, boys, before we sign off?
Thanks for remembering that, RA. I just texted Mike Ben's father, and I've gotten the chance to FaceTime him a couple times to get to know him, especially after we donated to the Ben Stelter Foundation after last year's award ceremony. That was the first time I'd met him, right? He was there presenting the MVP to Connor. So anything you guys can do as far as donate to that foundation. And Mike, we hope you get well soon as well. So we love you guys. This has been a great show. G, tremendous job. Sucks that Marty Turco's situation with the weather down there. We just hope that he's safe and he's found shelter. Obviously, thanks to Jovo Cop. He's the fucking man. Loved playing with him. And the fact that you got Pasta on after winning a championship. Huge pull for us, G. And first starter day. And I was going to say, buddy, that hair you had during that puppy dog food ad, buddy, you must have been loving that. Might be your best haircut yet.
Well, I just wear the hat. I'm just too nervous that people will make fun of me, but I have great hair.
You have good hair right now.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you've heard great hair, G.
You've
great job as a producer. You crushed
Thanks,
it.
boys.
Go Oilers.
Love you, gang.
Love you, boys.